Boom. Hello, YouTube. We do that cut there. You don't know about the cut. Everyone here who watches us live knows about the cut. I clap my hands, make it dance, clap my hands for the bands. Anyway, this is second week. We're episode 33. God, are we really episode 33? We're 19 episodes away from it being a year of second week. Is that crazy? That's absolutely Nutter Butters. All right, so cool, easy, fun. I'm going to bully somebody now. JJ, what happened last time?
Oh no. So we took a little bit of time to take care of Colt and lay him to rest, but also go through his note to all of us.
Oh, I think
also
going deep.
I won't go into the note. Watch last episode.
That was 2 episodes ago.
It was 2 episodes. That's why I'm like, you're going deep as hell. Let's go.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So my brain is not working.
We ended our long rest. That's the start.
Yeah, we ended our long rest. I'm bad today. Sorry, I had too much stuff go on this weekend.
It happens. It happens.
We sent again to the Herald. And we got back kind of like this non-response. It was more so a response to us letting us know that someone is spreading some misinformation about us. So we figured out that's probably Reginald DeWalt, if I remember correct. He's the Inquisitor, if I remember correctly, that was at the kind of bridge border before you get to Orin. And then we decided to contact the lady. And I feel like we got a lot of well, at least JJ got a lot of positive reinforcement from that, because whoever it was going to tell the lady that we had done wrong in Orin and kind of forsaken our whole situation. So yeah, she basically told us she believes in us. We're her seekers. She doesn't really have like a horse in the race of Ravon, so to speak. And she told us to move to Fort Osun. And so that's where we're about to head. And yeah, we did some shopping as well.
Some shopping, true. Yeah, you did other stuff other than shopping right before you guys left. If you want to talk about that as well, about where you're at right now. I will hand it to
First,
Vel
we agreed to go hunt down a war criminal, and then we went to go get ice cream.
Yep. Okay. Yep. We did agree to hunt down a war criminal, a big war criminal in terms of where Vel is from.
I know he's not a big deal, but you know, Yetzukallas he's okay. He's okay.
He's only a small deal. Yetzukallas, which funnily enough, we did go to. Let me find the name really quick. Sea Salts and Sundays Saloon, which is an ice cream parlor.
It is. With
our lovely friend Calliope. We ran into someone that knew Vel's family, basically insulted the Yonti Yetzukallas. And I guess now we also need to save him from his peril of working in a child's Sunday saloon instead of being, you know, a diplomat.
Of course.
A high elven diplomat. So,
which is good. So we'll clarify a bit. But yes, everything for the most part. You all woke up from a long rest. Spoke with Calliope's mother. Took Calliope with you to explore the city. Went to the a small weapon shop that was owned and operated by a man who was covered in tattoos. You identified the stick that you had recovered from the falling fire that erupted out. You all went to the docks, found that you are low on funds, but high on ability, and the people on the docks make no allusions to the fact that they dislike a individual who has a warehouse at the end of the docks here in Orin. Specifically, they openly tell you, hey, there's a bounty on this guy's head. If you kill it, we'll split it with you. We'll cash the bounty. We'll pay you up front, and then we'll go cash the rest of the bounty. The group decided, hey, that might be a good thing to do, especially after coming to terms with who Yetzukallas is and the number of war crimes and the fact that they are legitimately a merchant of death. The group then, after making this deal, agreed to keep everything quiet with Calliope so that she didn't worry her mother, by taking her to the Sea Sultan Sunday Saloon, where they met a high elf worker named Buddy, who was just having a bad go with things. You know, sometimes you just have a bad day at work. And they came to find a little bit more history about who Buddy really is. Yeah, they had their ice cream. They enjoyed it greatly, I think. And they have handsomely paid Buddy, who erupted into tears and sorrow, for the tip and the graciousness of it. And they were just getting up from their table. I think that's it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot the most important thing, which is I'm an absolute psychopath, and I forgot to show the thing that I got done, that Buddy does exist and has art, because I couldn't resist getting Buddy the Elf done. Who would I be if I didn't get Buddy done in his Sea Sultan Sunday Saloon outfit, front and proper?
Nice costume.
Yeah, so perfect costume. I think it embodies everything the character needs to be.
Now I almost feel bad.
Now I almost feel bad. I will give a tremendous shout out to it's AB, but I always want to say it's Autumn Blossom, but I know it's not. It's gonna drive me up a wall. Hold on one second.
The Neapolitan striped background.
Oh yeah, it's Autumnal, so Autumn NAL Bloomer on Twitter. I believe they are out of the UK, but super tremendous stuff. They have a general purpose elf. If you ever watch any of the gaming streams, the little papercraft characters I have up, they're the ones who did the papercraft stuff. So yeah, I messaged them last week and I was like, hey, I came up with a really stupid idea, and I role played a character, and I think I need art of it before its time in the spotlight leaves. And so yeah, this is what came up. But they are absolutely tremendous for drawing really overworked elves, and I was like, I can think of no one better to draw this very overworked elf. So yes, that's where we're at, right? I feel like that's all we needed to know about that. So whoop, wee. Oh no, I didn't put them all the way to the front. Wow. It's above frames. Whee. There we go. And shrink them down. There we go. So yes, as you all are getting ready to leave, you see Buddy returning to the floor, cleaning up the peppermint ice cream that was thrown at him as we last made our cut. You all find yourselves still within the Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon. Calliope has dried ice cream all over her face. She looks around. She goes, "That was great. I think that was probably in the top of all of the Sundays that I've ever had. So when we get back home, I have to pretend like I'm still real hungry, right? I mean, I am going to be real hungry. I'm still right hungry right now. Never mind. I don't got to pretend nothing. We're good."
Good. I'm going to go see if Bartholomew might be willing to offer any insight into Yetzukallas
Sure.
before we make our way from here.
All right. As you guys are getting up from your booth, Calliope kind of crawling out and over people to get out. You see Buddy holding a large wooden mop handle and slowly mopping the floor of this large glob of ice cream. And for anyone who's ever worked in the service industry, you know the mops are not the best. And especially if you've ever tried to mop ice cream, it kind of melts as you go, just making more of a mess. But you know, he is wearing gloves, so he doesn't want to. These are his only good gloves. So he doesn't want to really like scoop it up off the floor. So you see him kind of slowly just like moving this almost tennis ball of an ice cream cone around on the floor, and then squeegeeing it out, and then mopping it up some more, and slowly working this ball of ice cream into a smaller and smaller manageable piece. As you walk forward, he doesn't seem to notice you, Vel.
Excuse me, Bartholomew.
What? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Do you need a refund? Was it that bad? Do you have indigestion?
No, the milkshake was fine. It's a
Oh, okay.
lovely establishment.
Good. Okay.
We find ourselves as a group in a unique position to hunt down and deal with an individual that I believe you may be familiar with, and I was hoping that in your time and serving Numeria that you might be able to provide some insight onto Yetzukallas.
Yetsu, and you can see he's looking for it, but his mind has been filled with ice cream and customer service for years now. He will roll history. He thinks about it. He goes, Yetzukallas. Yes. The Oh, don't tell me. And you see him like visibly get upset with himself, and he like kind of like has the end of the mop, and he starts kind of like tapping the side of his head with the wooden beam of the mop, trying to get there. And he finally goes, Yetzukallas, the Merchant of Death. Yes, I have heard of the Merchant of Death. He or they, I don't know if it is a he, I've never met them personally. They're a rather disastrous person from the rumors that have been passed down throughout history.
When you were serving as a diplomat between our nations, it was a time where he was rather active, if I'm not mistaken. Did you not have any more direct knowledge of him, perhaps?
It's difficult to say. At the time, it was so long ago. I'm so sorry. The issue on the table that your father, which congratulations on his promotion. I heard he made senator. I believe the issue was primarily that the swamplands had come into possession of a number of devices that could pose a threat to the Aurelian kingdom. Specifically, I there was something. Oh, it was very important. Come on, Uritin. He again taps the side of his head with the edge of the mop, and he goes, It was something they were able to do, a biological thing. I must confess, I've never been much for science. I've always been more of a talker.
No, it's quite all right. I wasn't sure how much you would know. It is before my time, and quite a while before your trials seem to have come.
Yes.
I thank you. If I am ever home, I'll see if I can try to at least spread word that you provided help to us in this case. Perhaps that there could be reconsideration on what's happened to you.
It has been so very long, Miss Dowenvey, that I don't think it would it would be rightly worth your trouble to put yourself out like that. I have been banished for longer now than most of the next generation has lived. I wouldn't want to see the stock of your character harmed in any way from your association with me. But it means it means so much to even hear that kindness after all this time.
Well, I know that relations between our people and Cragmaw have changed in the changes to leadership that have been seen, and I do believe in second chances, so Bartholomew, I'm not too much worried about the standing of my character. I think that it might be worth people knowing that you are someone who shouldn't just be ridiculed.
Thank you for that. He like kind of like reaches up and like grabs the top of his hat and like takes it off and puts it over his chest in a way, and he kind of like grips it in both hands with the thing, and kind of like moves his fingers to and fro from the top of the hat. And you can see his hair is like ill maintained. There are a number of pieces of like knots and things that need to be brushed out. You can tell he probably hasn't like shampooed his hair in a week or more, probably even longer at this point. And it's just very unkempt, befitting an elf. And he goes, I thank you and your half elven friend for this day. It is truly the happiest day that I have had in so many years. Sorry. And he puts his hat back on and gets that, and you hear from the back, you hear this gnome kind of pipe and go, buddy, I saw that hat come off. We got to keep the hat on. It's part of the uniform, bud. And you go, yeah, yes, Gerald, of course. No, if you will excuse me, I have to clean this ice cream up and finish my shift. And then you hear a splat and a bunch of dishes breaking from the other side of the boundary. And he goes, and clean that mess up too. And all the messes after those messes. And the messes after those messes. You have a great day, Miss Dowenvey.
Thank you, Mr. Eridan.
And he starts mopping up again.
I'll return to the group.
Sure. Yeah, you look, Calliope is standing there. She is now, after someone has pointed out that she had ice cream all over her face, she's now wiped her face on 6 different clean napkins and just created a small pile of trash at the edge of the table. She's like, well, we getting to go dinner?
Yes, we're ready.
All right. Let's get out of this place. She starts like leading her way out. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
JJ will follow them.
All right.
Yep, Bucky follows.
Aim. Follow along.
All right. So everyone leaving the Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You all exit from the area. Easy to do. And you find yourselves into the late afternoon, kind of getting on to evening time frame for the day. You know that you're expected at dinner at Calliope's home, and you are looking forward to a fantastic fiber hair family dinner. JJ, you still have a couple of chickens with their necks snapped, slung over your shoulder at this point. And they're getting to the point now where it's like, if you don't start plucking these and you don't start skinning these, this is gonna be some bled in chicken.
Yep.
But yeah, what do you guys want to do? You have the city to explore if you'd like, or you can head off and go to dinner and take care of that if you so choose, but the choices are yours and yours alone on Legends of the Hidden Temple, which it's coming back. I'm so excited. Okay, anyway, continuing.
I need to get these chickens back, y'all. They are getting mighty gross.
Yes, let's get them back before they spoil.
Yes, I don't think we have any of the immediate business. Let's head back.
Yeah, we might be able to ask the missus as well about our new job, since she works down at the docks and whatnot.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Good idea.
I reckon she might know her way around the warehouse a little bit better than us just walking on in there. See what she has to say.
All right. So heading back to the fiber hair home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You all cross through town as the day begins to bleed into afternoon, into the evening. You note that a number of people are beginning to effectively do the same, call it a wrap. You see a number of merchants that have been dealing or trading within the city or visiting various local establishments through one way or another are now retreating back to either their boats or even to whatever residential stay they might have. Orin being at Lake Loria and how smooth the water often is, you feel it wouldn't be terribly uncommon for people to rest and relax here, or rather find themselves in hospitable waters to effectively sleep on the boat and save a bit of coin. But things begin to die down. The city lights begin to be lit. You see them by various locals, of all things. Normally you would expect this to be a job by like the city guard or anything of that sort, but nope, just regular locals seem to come out and handle the street lights that are nearest to their homes. Soft candlelight catching fire and slowly being lit like fireflies across the city. Before too long, you all arrive back at the fiber hair home. You can smell this wonderful dish and this aroma kind of erupt out as soon as the doors open. Calliope very easily, no knock, no nothing, just whips the door open, and you hear, "Ma, we're home. Pa, we're here." And you hear, "Calliope, you really got to work on wiping your feet. I just cleaned those floors." And you look, dirt all over where Calliope has walked. Didn't bother to stamp her feet out at the doormat. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Pa. I was excited because I haven't eaten all day, and so I was really looking forward to this." He goes, "Oh, all right. I understand. Hungry stomach. How was the city?" And as you guys are walking in, he kind of asks it of the group, kind of looking to see how the day was. And you can feel, especially those of you turned in insight, he's more asking like, did she get into any trouble? You know, what do we have to explain to her mom? Like that. And you start hearing like a ladle bang against the side of against the light of like a cooking pot. And you hear, "Y'all better be hungry. I've got a lot of things cooking in here. And where are my damn chickens?"
JJ's gonna say, "Right here, ma'am," and she's gonna
Brandish them.
kind of bring him in and.
Yeah, Urena has no problem just snatching them out of your hands. She looks them over and she goes, "Well, these aren't half bad. I half expected you to bring me something skinny and dead like the rest of you. All right, then." And she takes them and immediately chops the heads off the tops of the chickens and starts cutting them open, and kind of like plucking the feathers and pulling everything apart, getting them ready to drop in. Clyde's question kind of hangs in the air of like, how are things in the city? What do you guys want to tell him?
Well, it went well.
Just, well,
We were able to find a few resources that we needed. Calliope led us around and showed us the docks and a few of the interesting stores. It was a good little venture.
And, well, that's good. The docks, a few little stores. And he kind of looks at Calliope, he goes, what stores did you take them to? She goes, "Oh, just around town, Daddy. I just, we went to visit, Lewis and, show them that his store's real cool. And then, we went around the docks and I showed him all kinds of peoples and, pointed out some stuff. And then, we got the chickens and we, came home." You see, like, Calliope definitely, like, is used to lying to her father. And Clyde kind of has this look like, but like you can't tell if he's buying it or he's like, kind of a hard furbolg to read. But he looks over the rest of you and he goes, "Is that so? Just a day around town? No funny business? No Weaver's Chosen nonsense?"
Well, nothing occurred, though we may have some nonsense in the evening.
Hmm. You hear from the kitchen shouting as you're hearing this like hacking cleaver hit the wood. He goes, "If y'all don't have any business, make sure you don't bring it home with you."
It is not our intention. In fact, once we handle what has been asked of us, we intend to make our way onward.
All right. Dinner be ready in just a sec. Make yourselves at home. I know you already did. And Clyde goes, "Oh, yes, if you need to wash up, you can use the closet. We got a whole thing I helped build. So there's a pump house from the sluice, and it'll bring you fresh water. They purify it some which way, and we pay." And you hear an interruption. You go, "You mean I pay?" Yes, Urena. Urena pays to make sure we get clean, fresh water. So help yourselves."
Once again, very hospitable. Thank you.
And of course, we'll get everything set up here. And you see him, he's already got like a small little tray of forks and knives and like plates. And he's like setting it up, trying to figure out how he fits 5 people plus his family around the same table. And he's like, "We might have to bring in a couch." And he's like, "Calliope, can you go get your little bedside table for me?" She goes, "Pa, I'm not going to eat off a bedside table." He goes, "You'll eat where there's food. So get it." Like that. And you hear from the kitchen, be like, you hear, "Clyde, now I know you're not talking anything wrong about little Calliope there, are you?" No, dear. I wouldn't dream of it." "Good."
I could sit on the floor if need be, or
Oh,
it's nothing
nonsense.
too wild.
You hear from the kitchen as you offer this. You hear Urena go, "Oh, don't you worry none about that. We're plenty hospitable here. Need be, Clyde can eat outside." He goes, that is true. I do have a sitting chair out there. It's a nice night too. Look at that. He doesn't even care." And she goes, "Oh, Daddy, you gonna sit outside again? Oh, good for you. You haven't done that since you and Mom raised your voices." He goes, "Thank you, Calliope." And she goes, "All right. Well, I'm gonna go get ready." And she starts hopping and skipping to her room. And you start hearing this like dragging sound of like this like table being like fiddled with. And Clyde starts setting the table, and you can just see he's pretty browbeat at this point. But for the rest of you, anything you guys want to do before dinner?
Just wash up, I suppose.
Okay. Easy to do. You guys all clean up, make yourselves presentable. Much to what was alluded to, you're all served a very hearty looking plate, all mixed in. And the aroma is tremendous. It's a nice home cooked meal. There is about day old bread that's served along with it. Urena sits at the head of the table. Calliope sits immediately to her right. Clyde looks, counts the chairs, and goes, "Well, I'll leave you all to it then. I'll just be outside if you need me." And he gets his plate and he has his rolls, and you see this large furbolg man trying to like balance his plate and his napkin and everything under it. And then he kind of like hip checks the door before heading outside, and you hear a large groaning sound from a rocking chair outside on the porch. But you all sit, are served fresh food, this delightful kind of fiber hair special. Urena looks forward and she goes, "All right then. Well, we thank you all for coming here. I don't know, well, I don't want to trample on anyone's beliefs here, but who would like to say grace?"
Would I assume that JJ would know how to say grace?
Anyone trained in a religion can say grace. Orville
Orville will say grace.
will say grace. All right, Orville. You know that grace is typically given in thanks to the various realm weavers. Specifically, Bavayan is typically the realm weaver you would thank for home-cooked meals, for food, and for a happy life. Anything you'd like to say as grace, I will hold true. As you hold it true on earth, I will hold it true in heaven. What do you say, Orville?
What was the name of the weaver?
Bavayan.
And it is with this meal that we give thanks to Bavayan for the wonders of the home and the hearth, for those that surround us in the home and around the hearth, and for those to surround us in the future. That's all I got.
And you hear like Urana go, amen to that. All right then. Short and sweet and to the point. Well, I gotta say, for you weavers chosen, I suppose that is about as good as we're gonna get. After all, you all are as close to godliness as we're going to get or see in our lifetimes. So we thank you for your expeditious nature. Please enjoy. And do tell me if I overseasoned it. I do apologize. So yeah, you guys, if you're eating of the meal, anyone who has a Constitution score less than 12 must make a Constitution saving throw. If you don't have a Constitution score less than 12, you're fine. But as you're eating through, you start to taste. There are whole chili peppers in this dish. You suspect, because of Furbolg's nature, being that they eat a lot of solid foods and they eat a lot of like heavy grains, when they do try to impress folks, they try to fill it with as much spice as possible, because they have pretty much a cast iron stomach, so it doesn't bother them as much. And to them, spice equals good. So yeah, I don't think anyone's below except for JJ, I think. Yeah. So JJ,
Yep.
go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 15.
15. You and you get a nice like spoonful of what equates to like 5 alarm chili. And you're like, The rest of you are like, ooh, like blowing on it. It's hot, but it's not unbearably so. JJ, you definitely got like you just squeezed the whole bottle of sriracha in this thing. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's good cooking. It's gonna stain your insides, you're pretty sure. But overall, it's not bad. If you guys would all like, you may roll a d6, and you may gain that much in temporary hit points. If you still have temporary hit points from breakfast, which I think most of you do, if you roll lower than what you currently have, you don't add to your total. It's just if you get a chance to roll better. So, as you guys are doing that, Urana looks over the table, looks over the rest of you, narrows her smaller kind of her vision a bit, and as she's chewing, you hear, and she taps the front of her lips. She goes, "Now, what's this I hear? Y'all gonna go to the docks? You have some business, you said?"
Yes, a few of the merchants along the docks informed us of a individual whose history I am familiar with.
Friend of
Who
yours?
is, no.
Oh.
This individual committed very heinous acts against my people and against many other people in their travels. And apparently they are in hiding here, taking advantage of the neutrality of Orin in Warehouse 4.
Oh. Well, that's a bit of a surprise. It would make sense. A lot of boys that were working over on the docks loading up Warehouse 4 were getting paid pretty well overall for a number of very large things. So certainly I wouldn't cause any ruckus if there doesn't need to be, but it sounds like you've already made your mind up about that, now haven't you?
I personally believe it'd be in the best interest of the entire world if we did make a little bit of a ruckus about this.
Did you hear that, Mama? The whole world. They're going to save it right now, tonight. It's going down at the docks. And she goes, Daughter, I have ears and I can hear them just fine. What it sounds like to me is our Weaver's chosen friends, or the Seekers, as you so call yourselves, are sticking their noses into someone else who's just trying to make an honest living. But you know what? Far be it from me to get in the way of your path to the Realm Weavers themselves. Certainly, I wish you all the best in all that you do. I ask that you just don't bring trouble home. He might not look it, but Clyde can only take so much punishment. Yes, that is an insult and an insult for anyone confused.
It is not our intention to bring any trouble to your home, as it has been far too kind to us.
So long as we have that respect, I do suppose. Well, overall, I just, I hope for the best for y'all. Calliope, you're of course staying home. She goes, oh, yes, Mama. We had a deal earlier. And she goes, you had a deal? You made a deal with my daughter? What kind of deal did you all make? And she goes, you see Calliope fully eat her lips like, oh.
Today your daughter got to travel with us, and she got to see how and learn a little bit about the sorts of things that Weaver's chosen take interest in, and we agreed that she would understand, much as a story that I told her not that long ago, the importance of information and how it must be used wisely.
Well, you all do certainly sound a bit like the city type, the more I hear you speak. So long as my daughter's not in any danger, I suppose I'll have to just take you at your word at that. Again, we're simple folk here. We try to make an honest living. I don't try to ask too many questions about where the coin comes from on the docks. All I know that it's plentiful, and there's always a number of noodle-armed fools ready to part with their money to make sure that honest work gets done for them. So, again, I ask that whatever you do, however you do it, try not to make too much trouble for the town.
I should hope that we don't.
All right. And in the event that you have to flee under the cover of night, I've never met you, I don't know any of your names, and I will never tell history books about you, just so we're clear.
Probably the right way to handle it.
I think it's fair. Overall, there's a number of my employers that have been, we'll say, bobbing for apples in the lake. And we just move on past that. So I think we all hold that same sentiment here in Orin. So overall, keep your business to yourself and keep your noses clean if you can.
Thank you.
Of course. Now then, anyone in for seconds or anything else I can do for y'all?
I can go for a help in a seconds, ma'am.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. And she takes this big ladle and scoops out more and plops it on your plate. And you look at it over, and it still smells great. But you see like a whole like red chili pepper sticking out of the side of it, barely cut up. And it goes down smooth. It's great. It's like eating Thai.
All right.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do before calling a cap on dinner? No?
I don't think so.
No? JJ? All right. So, with that, dinner concludes. You see Arena call Clyde back in. She loads him up with all the dishes. He starts working and cleaning all the dishes and picking up the house. She looks to you all and she goes, well, I wish you well in whatever it is you're up to this evening. Again, if you don't feel it's safe to come back here, do not come back here. I got a real early start for tomorrow morning, so if you all could keep a bit of a church mouse approach to it, I would certainly appreciate that. Yeah. All right then. I'll leave you to it and be good people, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Just out of character real quick,
Hmm?
when we mentioned warehouse 4, did her demeanor change at all, or?
No, she seemed pretty like on the level of it. She's heard of it, and when you guys say you're investigating like a guy that is like a history from around the world, she openly admits that like she's heard of it because whoever this person is to her is paying good money for moving very large merchandise in and out of that warehouse. But if you want to ask her anything else about it, now would be the time before she retires.
Hmm. Any armed guards around that?
Begging your pardon?
Have you seen any, mercenary types around there?
Oh, types like you, dressed with their swords on their hips and armor displayed out in the chest?
Wouldn't call myself a mercenary, but yeah.
You work for money for the glory of a realm weaver, and you're not a mercenary.
Well, if that's all you think I do, then I see how you might think that.
I'm not a learned woman, but I know right from wrong in that sense. But we'll move past this, Mr. Sater. I wouldn't per se that there's a number of armed guards. Most people know well enough that when the money's coming in, you don't mess with whoever that is. You want to make sure that that flow isn't disrupted, especially if they've got rather deep pockets. As far as for armed individuals or people who might be looking for some spare work, there's always a person who's got an old dull sword or a knife that they're willing to wager gold at how good they're able to wield it. I wouldn't say there's armed guards specifically. You said warehouse 4, right?
Correct.
She like looks up in the looks up to like the rafters and things and goes, "No, I don't think there's any armed guards. I don't think they need them per se. They have this pale fella, real large, and I mean big for me. And I just his looks alone, I wouldn't want to mess with him. Seems to be some type of I don't know what, unsavory to say the least, but his skin is as bleached white as bone, and he's as wide as a cow is heavy. I just wouldn't presume anyone would want to make trouble seeing that fella walking around, you know?
Yeah. Would you say this person is a giant?
No, he's not giant. I mean, what's 10 foot tall to you? Is that giant? I assume everything's pretty giant. I'm probably a giant to you, tell you the truth, Mr. Sater. I mean, I don't presume to know what your boundary is for giant, but he's definitely a large individual, to say the least, or they are. It's hard to tell with those reptile types. Real wide set eyes, too.
Ah.
But I don't know. He doesn't seem to be the garden type. I think he's more just muscle. He doesn't carry any type of weaponry or anything of that sort. But I saw his face a few times around the docks, and mostly just seems to be keeping people honest for whoever his boss is. Seemed to not so much shout the orders so much as just relay them. But I didn't get on that last job. Unfortunately, it would have been a good payday. A number of people walked away with a handful of platinum pieces, so certainly they're paying good money for an honest day's work over there.
We'll see how honest it is.
Oh, I suppose you will see. I got myself a dinner with a couple of judges. Well, your honors, if that'll be all, I will retreat in my own domicile to go rest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any other questions? Anything else I need to display my academic knowledge upon?
No, I don't think so. You've been quite more than affable.
Mhm. And Calliope's like staring there looking around. She goes, wow, affable, academic. Wow. Mama, you got all kinds of fancy words. And she's like, sometimes you need to put on airs with these kind of folks so that they don't treat you different. And she goes, wow, Mama, you're real smart. She's like, don't you forget it. Have a good night, y'all. And she goes and turns, and she walks in the kitchen, and you hear like a small kiss to Clyde, and she goes, "Don't stay up too late with all this nonsense." He goes, I won't. Calliope won't either." She's like, "Oh, but Paul, we're not gonna stay up and wait for them to come back." He's like, "We're not staying up that late. It's already sun's going down, Calliope. We're gonna make sure we do our reading, and we're gonna go to bed." She goes, "Ah, Paul, but what about adventure?" He goes, "We don't need adventure yet. You're not even ready to do math." She goes, "Oh, with math again." "Well, math's real important, I found out." He goes, "You did what now?" "Math is real important. I'm learning about it." He goes, and he looks at your group and he goes, and he mouths like, "Thank you." And she's like, "Yeah, instead of reading, maybe we do some more math tonight, Dad." And he goes, "Yeah, we should. All right." He goes and starts getting books out, like clearing the table and getting things ready. But yeah, for the rest of you, anything you guys want to do before leaving the fiber hair home?
No, I'm ready to call the campaign right there. I think we just won.
Taught Calliope the importance of math. Check mark. Achievement unlocked, 10 points. Silver trophy.
I would like to go into the kitchen,
Go right
I
ahead.
suppose.
Sure.
I want to leave a couple of platinum pieces on the counter,
Mhm.
just with a little note that says, in case the family needs to take a vacation to keep things quiet.
All right. So yeah, how much are you leaving?
2 platinum pieces.
Oh, Jesus. You guys in 2 platinum pieces.
Yeah.
People are gonna get murdered over this. You're just dropping money like it's going out of style. All right. So yeah, you easily hide and leave a hidden stash of coin behind. Anything else you want to do, or once you're ready to leave the house, let me know. We'll move on from there.
I think I'm good.
Judge is good too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. Morgan, anything you want to do? Good. All right. So the 5 of you pretty much pick up all your things, head outside. You find the cool evening air kind of wash in from the lake. You're again nearing towards winter for much of the region, but being so close to what effectively constitutes as not only the equator but the festering marshes themselves. There is a heat, kind of that tropical feeling for Orin. You're kind of close to being in like the Atlanta / like North Florida area where it's like it gets cold, but like it's not cold, you know? It's like a nice evening breeze. But yeah, you all head out into the street. You find the city of Orin is sleepy in the evenings, but not completely dead or quiet. There are a number of people sitting out on open public benches. You see a number of folks enjoying just being in the city and just being around the area. A number of shops are starting to close up for the evening, but there are even more that you see that seem to turn various like open signs over for late night, what appears to be like a local drinkery in the middle of town, as well as a couple of small shops that don't seem to open until later on in the evening. Just seems like again, like most small towns and cities, there's a number of businesses that work odd hours. But you guys find yourselves in the city. Are you heading straight for the warehouse, or is there anything you want to accomplish while in the city?
What do y'all think we should do? Should we see if we could talk to some of the workers, maybe perhaps, that have done work for Warehouse 4, or perhaps just scope it out for the evening?
Definitely need to scope it out for sure.
I think, considering how good the money has been from there, any of the dock workers who become suspicious and value that employer may inform them.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
I think we have a good enough understanding of at least one of the problems presenting. I think we really need to just go and check out the location. The question is, do we want to have the majority of us stay a bit a ways and send in perhaps Morgan under a bit of invisibility, see what she can find? Though I wouldn't suggest trying to go too far in. I would be concerned that the aura of magic may not be enough to protect you.
Might use the familiars to scout.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
We could.
Or one of them.
Your familiars are better at that than mine.
Actually, none of
So-
ours are very
Wow.
good in this case. Honestly, yours would be the least suspicious. A cat on a dock, a owl swooping in, or a flying snake is rather suspicious. Ugh, how much incense do I have?
I love
I
that
think
idea.
it might be time to turn Aja into a rat.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Switch it up.
Just a real slow moving, non-offensive, non-intrusive 14-ton cat. That's truly.
Like everyone will notice it, but no one's gonna attack it. They're just gonna let it wander around. Like, look at that cat! Look at how fat that cat is.
That cat catches a lot of fucking rats. So yeah, what do you guys want to do? You can head to the docks and look for people. You can see if you can catch anybody who still might have, heard head or tail from the warehouse, or you could, send in an advanced squad and try to see what's going on at the warehouse. Or you could say F it and head all the way back north to Wren's Fork and see what's going on.
Take our healing potions and go.
Take your healing potions and go and tell Rainwave to suck it.
No.
Nerd.
Okay.
Trusted us with stuff? Nerd.
Oof.
Think again, bud.
Well, you'd be the scout, Morgan. So which do you prefer, that I would send in Aja as a rat, or do you want to try and...
Try
Might
and
have to-
sneak in.
Might have to take the jingle shoes off.
What?
The jingly shoes that
On
Morgan doesn't
Chunkini.
wear jingling shoes.
Chunky.
I'm not talking about Chunkini. I'm talking about Morgan Invisible.
Yeah.
Versus
Oh.
sending in a familiar.
Actually have a woman on the inside.
Hmm. I think the best option would be for me to go in. Sending a familiar in is easy enough, but I don't think Chonk could do it, because he will attract attention, whether it's good or bad.
Yes. Which is why I think that...
Sorry, I'm trying.
Hmm?
I'm so sorry.
What?
For what?
I was trying to order food right now. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no
I
worries.
two things.
Right then, let's let Morgan order food.
All
It's
right.
done. We're
I'm
good.
going to spend 10 minutes and turn Aja into a rat while she deals with food, and then
Okay.
we'll send a rat in.
All right.
Let's send a rat in. I'm down.
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm done.
All right. So yeah, you spend the 10 minutes. You find a small alleyway between two people's houses in this kind of residential area. You do the dance, you do the chants, and Aja, the flying snake, turns into Aja, the very tiny rat. You 180 the food chain for this fine familiar, and be like, hey man, sometimes you're on the up, sometimes you're on the down, you just gotta deal with it. But you have this little black shadowy rat that's like yay big. It cannot, there's no, I'm gonna tell it right now, you cannot put this rat on the top of a chef's head and get them to cook ratatouille, okay?
I
It's not
know
how it
that's how it
works.
works.
It's not how it works. I'm calling that shit right now. Not this rat.
No
Okay.
more piloting rats. Shame.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
What
no
about
Gundam
like
rats.
on top of Orville's head and it acts as a doctor?
Oh, maybe.
So we have two
You-
head doctors now.
Yeah, if you put it on JJ's head, there will be a war.
Ooh.
So yeah.
No. I will simply let her loose to go and check things out, and I will put. I was gonna say a hand, but I've only got one, so yeah, my hand on JJ's shoulder in case we need to move around or anything, because I'm blind now.
Okay, so you guys are actually going to go to the docks. Or you're just going to release her in the city and then hope she gets there.
Well,
Oh
good
no,
choice.
I thought. Sorry, I was.
You're still in the residential. I was waiting for where you guys wanted to move.
Oh no,
The
yeah.
docks.
Yes.
Yes.
Towards the docks.
To the docks, to the warehouse specifically, right?
But a little ways off from it.
Sure. All right. So yeah, easy to do then. So as evening peels over into early night, you all find yourselves outside the docks. There's still a bit of a bustle, a number of late night merchants with large kind of like lit candles and lanterns that hang from the edges of the various dock poles. You see a number of people kind of moving arm in arm, being like, oh, glad to have leave, and like heading further into the small city just to find various things to occupy their time. Sailors and the like all switching off from different shifts from boats that are docked along the marina of sorts. And you all move further still to the west end of Orin, right where Rainwave was able to tell you. And you note a collection of very large warehouses with heavy painted numbers that have been freshly done. You count 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see this large, unremarkable warehouse set out in a very open lot. You can see that there are 2 carriages, like almost full wagons, really, not really carriages. Let's redact that. Full heavy-set wagons that have been docked at either end, kind of facing the city side, so away from the dock. So in the south end, you have the dock area where there's a large loading bay. And then heading north side from just walking up and seeing it, you can see light petering out from the north end, where there appears to be horses and carriages, or not carriages, wagons. Good Lord, let's figure it out. That are being loaded up, and you can hear kind of grumbling from people from inside, voices kind of shouting like, hey, be careful with that. Kind of echo out from this place, and there don't seem to be too many lights on, but it's enough to let you know that people are working inside this warehouse. You get a good, you can only see through Aja 100 feet, and you know this warehouse is larger than 100 feet. This is like a big place.
Okay.
Think, to give you an approximation, Indiana Jones, where they hide stuff. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
But if we were off to one side of it, I'd be able to see in to that side a certain ways.
Yeah, you'd be able to see up to 100 feet through Aja. As you guys are walking up on it, you people are... Morgan exists in the party, so we'll just leave it at that. You note specifically there are a number of places to canvass the area. From the dock side, there is a large loading bay that faces kind of a rocky crag that kind of bleeds off into the rest of the docks. It's a large slope that seems to be able, with a number of large double doors that feeds into the warehouse. There are some front-facing windows or dock-facing windows that lead there. On the left and the right are large open areas. You can see a collection of windows and small doors, even doors that have small windows in them that exist on the eastern and western sides of the warehouse. And of course, on the north end, you note that there are 2 very large loading bays with wagons that are currently being loaded with various sundry goods. Or at least you're not quite sure of what they are. If you want to get closer, you can look, but you're fairly sure they're being loaded with something. So yeah, how do you want to approach it?
The cliffside one seemed like it had the least amount of people around it.
So the side facing the dock definitely seems closed. In a sense, like they're not loading anything from the docks tonight. It seems like it is also the most open area of the two, or of the four areas you can look at. Like it's like effectively you're looking at like, here's the docks, some rubble, and then a big slope that leads right up to a effectively like a big metal door that you would assume either slides open or goes up to allow wagons and carriages and hand trucks to move in and out of this warehouse. It's a fairly large opening. And then there are smaller like personal doors on the east and west sides of it.
Why don't we go to the west side?
All right.
Sure thing, Miss Vel.
I think the more personal doors might be closer to an office or something of sort, so we might be able to see someone of note.
Indeed.
All right. So as the group moves to the warehouse, you guys begin to rise from the dock area up to the western end of this warehouse edge. I need everyone to roll stealth for me, if you could. This is where you find the dock Chunkini. You'd have Pokemon battle.
I hear under that one wagon, there's a Mew.
Ooh, yeah, but it's really hard to move. It's hard to move. All right, so starting with Orville, what do we get for stealth, bud?
22.
Holy God. Okay, Bucky, what do we get?
17.
Okay, yeah. Morgan, where are we at?
22.
Cool. So Vel and JJ, you got double ones for me? Vel, what'd you get?
Nat
19.
20.
19 and a nat 20. Okay, well, I asked them to roll stealth for some reason. I thought, yeah, okay. So as a group average, 5 players, yeah, you have a 20 stealth as a group. You disappear. You do I have 100 stealth in Skyrim, and I crouch, and the guards go, "Where did he go?" You guys vanish into the night. You guys have all perfected the act of whistling with your hands in your pockets and then peeling from a street corner off. As you go to the west end, you note there's a collection of bushes that exist alongside the western edge, and you manage to kind of stow yourselves in there. You look over the area, and you can see there are 3 doors that face the western edge. There's a large set of double doors where there is a small kind of like view in there. There is a large window overhanging the bushes, and then there is a heavy-looking metal door that seems to exist through with a very tiny rectangular window. But you guys easily find your way sneaking up and hiding amid the natural growth and bushes of the western edge of this warehouse. And you can hear from inside kind of muffled yelling and echoing from the north end. You can hear a man's voice shout and go, "Be careful with that. It's worth more than you are." And it's like, "Sorry, sir. Of course, sir. Yeah. Hey, be careful with that." And you hear, and you hear like the groaning of wood as things are weighed down, presumably upon the wagons. What do you want to do?
All right, let's see if a small rat can sneak in.
All right. Do you want to try and get her to go under a door, or do you want to try to crack one of these windows and throw her in?
Under a door,
Okay.
if all possible.
All right.
Or crack in the wall if there's any such things.
Yeah, you look it over. It seems like there's enough clearance in the bottom of the door. With a squeak and a squiggle, the little rat pulls herself out from underneath the door. Begins her adventure. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for Aja. I will say she has advantage because she is in a form that blends into the area.
Yeah,
no
I
one's
need to.
going to pay attention to a rat for the most part.
I just need to grab these rat stats real quick.
Rat stats.
Here they are.
Tonight on
Oh,
Rat
keen,
Stats.
keen smell.
There you go, Rat Stats.
Okay.
Some people have
stealth.
crit roll stats. Now we got Rat Stats. All right.
Oh wow. That advantage was really helpful. That was a 10.
10 total.
Yeah.
Okay. Aja squeaks in through the door, and you hear, and she's squeaking and moving through. After clearing the door, she looks up, and I think we're gonna do it this way. This will be fun. Might not be fun. Might be absolutely terrible, but I don't even know. Let me see here. Okay, that'll work. Can I move this? Please. There we go. Can I move this? That'll work. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Shmame capture. Click this. Link it. Will it show up? Beep boop a doop. Beep boop a doop. Maybe. Hey, there we go. All right. So as you guys are hiding in the bushes, you look over. Whoop. And you can see Aja, her vision very clearly. And this is what she can see right now. She sees a desk with a candle on it and a large row of heavy stacked boxes, and what appears to be kind of shelves full of merchandise in sealed crates.
Okay.
And as you move the rat, I will move the map.
Let's
Someone
Let's
queue up the
have-
Splinter Cell stuff.
let's have her go close to the desk and try and go under it.
All
Let's see what's around.
So she gets to the desk. She goes under it. As you look over the area, you see the far-facing wall. You look over the desk, and there appears to be a small candle lit on the desk, a heavy-set chair, and a twice-locked chest facing the far wall. So there's a chest here. There's a bookshelf that looks like full of paperwork, and then the desk itself has a number of smatterings of documents that are sprawled upon it. And Aja quickly goes under the desk into hiding.
Okay.
You continue to hear people groaning and yelling from the far end. Go ahead and make a perception check for Aja.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. She looks around. You look, and as she's like looking around, and you're like, Aja, okay, look underneath the desk real quick. If you see anything, you see Aja is like staring down what appears to be another rat that didn't make it, and it's just the rear end of a rat that's been like chomped and left under the desk in like a bloody pile. Just a tail and an ass. And you see Aja like sort of kind of like having a panic attack.
Darling, we knew the risks involved. It's why you're made of smoke and shadow.
It's like the little rat's like heavy breathing immediately. Yeah, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Let's have her go on top of the desk and see if I can make out any of the paperwork that's just
Sure.
right on top right now.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check to have her climb up the side of the desk. Unless she has climb speed. I don't know if rats have climb speeds in 5e.
They do not.
Okay, go
But
right ahead.
rats do this shit.
Yeah, they do that. So do roaches. But sometimes the roaches do fall on the ground.
Okay. That's an 11 with a -4.
Okay.
'cause It's athletics.
Sure. So she starts
So
scratching
7.
and climbing and moving, and it takes the better part of about a minute or so. You hear like shuffling from further in the warehouse. She climbs up to the top of the desk after about 5-6 minutes of like and like scurrying her little fat rat ass up on the side of it. And yeah, there seems to be tons of documents splayed out over here. Go ahead and give me an investigation check using your stats, not hers, as you're looking through,
Yes.
since you're trying to determine what's important.
I'll take a 24.
All right. You look over the area. Let's see here. What's left out on here seems to be like effectively like a stack of invoices that have been paid. It seems to be mostly what would attribute to like a pay sheet for various people they've helped or otherwise have helped them. As you look it over, it looks like the amounts they're paying out is upwards of about 15 gold per person, and it's listed in wages just from like the last couple of days. In total, of the first page, you look it over, it seems to total about 200 gold worth of just muscle they've hired on for moving and shipping. Looking over the rest of it, you see a number of closed books that have like small little thatched locks on them. Not like a lock. They're just like a belt loop kind of lock. And then you look over and there is a very heavy looking tome that seems sat up, and on the kind of spine of it, there's something written in, let me see here if I have it. Hold up. What is this language? What is this made up language? It's a strange looking language. Which ones do you speak?
I speak Common, Elvish, Infernal, and Celestial.
You would recognize it. Go ahead and give me a straight intelligence check because you do speak and read Celestial.
Ooh, that's a bad number. Well, that's a 6.
Okay. You look it over and you're like, there's something to this that has a celestial feel to it, but it's not celestial. It kind of, in real world terms, it's just like a collection of symbols that are lined up and arranged in ways that would make words, but they are all relative words. They're not actually like written, like a written language. It's kind of like, what's it? Not Fruity Loops. The font where it's just like moons and stuff, and it's all like just weird wingdings. It's effectively wingdings as a language, and you're just like, that's weird.
Okay.
But it's not among the ones you've known or studied.
Okay. Let's have her get down in a safe manner, kind of drop to the chair, and then take a chair leg down.
Sure. She squeaks down. It's easier to get down than get up.
Mm-hmm.
Get down on it. Get down on it.
Let's head to the opposite side and go along the boxes and head what I'll call north.
Okay.
The other side.
Oh, the other side. Okay, hold on. Boop, boop. Got to rearrange my rat missile. So she squeaks along here. Go ahead and give me another stealth check as she re-engages her movement.
Does she have advantage still, or?
Yep, still advantage. Still is a rat on a dock.
That's making sure. 13.
13, okay. She continues moving forward. And she starts to see, as she gets up ahead, the makings of a large kind of humanoid figure who is clad in what looks like heavy leather armor with a heavy halberd strapped to their back. They are bearing a number of like strange kind of like small knives and pouches all along there, and they're currently looking through what appears to be a heavy crate, and they're trying to read the sides of the crate with a what appears to be a shipping manifesto in there. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Her stats, not mine?
Yours. Yeah.
Mine? Okay.
Yeah. You're trying to look this guy over real quick.
17.
17. As Aja squeaks into like right underneath the bottom of this like rack and peers out looking at this individual to give you a view, you look him over, and with this kind of like leather palmed helmet up over his head, you look him over and you can see there are like small kind of tufts of what appears to kind of belay growing horns from the front of their skull.
We may have more tieflings. It's an individual who appears to have horns.
JJ will just pat her hand as kind of like an acknowledgement.
Yeah. Vel speaks but cannot hear you. So she's speaking like a crazy old witch lady with her eyes rolled back. With your perception check as well, you can hear arguing about a row or so over, and it's not so much like yelling, but it's definitely, you can hear two deep voices going back and forth, kind of emanating from the eastern area.
Okay. Let's try and head just a little bit away from him before heading over towards that.
Okay. So you squeak down again, going rather slow. Go ahead and give me another stealth check at advantage.
That's an 11.
Okay. You squeak. You see this individual kind of turn and look and see the rat and go, always boat rats. Hey, did you see we got rats? He said, of course there's rats. It's a fucking warehouse. He said, I'm just saying. He said if we see anything, it's fucking rats. You hear them yelling from up ahead. Aja continues all along for quite a bit. Revealing all the way up to the next row. So, where do you want to head? You can continue to head
So
east
the
or
people
north.
arguing is still further on,
Seems a bit further northeast, give or take.
and by my count, I'm about 40 feet away from me now.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's head to what would appear to be the next row then.
Okay, squeak. Weep. So, this is when you start to see it. You see a rather large individual, a human man with long hair, dressed in actual like leather fitted armor, befitting that of somebody who is of military rank. And then you see these two boys. So our first one, this one. Let's see if I can pull them up without too much issue. I am using the actual correct tokens for once, which is kind of nice. Let's see here. Yes. There he is. All right. So the first one you see is the large white individual. White skin, white flesh. Let's see if I can pull this up. I think this should open correctly. Yeah, there we go. He stands, again, about 11 feet tall, hunched over. Seems to have a number of frog and amphibious looks to him. Large, kind of guppy-like feet. Seems to kind of stand there, arms at its side with a dull, listless look in its eye. And then you see the individual sat to the left of him is this person. Who's currently smoking out of a pipe, has long, wide-set gaze and very reptilian features. And you can see these kind of piercing-looking, blood-red eyes as they stare into this human man. And you start to overhear the conversation as it continues off. And you hear, well, I don't quite care, my friends. I signed up for this because you said it'd be a quick job and that you already had an in for everything we needed to accomplish. And you can see this tall, kind of white, pale, frog-looking individual kind of stare up into the rafters, not really paying attention. The kind of like red-eyed individual smoking pulls their pipe, and you hear, well, things have certainly changed. There's a number of people sticking their noses where they don't belong, but it should not pose a threat. We already have the approval that we require. And with that approval, the good times will be had by all of that. I can assure you, your payment will be made. Not to worry about that. Isn't that right? And you hear the kind of large individual goes, oh, yeah, no worry. Everything good. I speak to little guy good. That's all you need to hear then. So long as all of the pieces are on the board, you only need to leave it to me to play the game. You see this kind of human man look over and upturn their nose a bit, and you see them look over and kind of go, well, I've heard a number of worrying concerns regarding your business, and I've got to say, I am a bit shook up. I've heard through my associates that there are chosen in the area. They're always chosen in the area. They're not to be worried about. They're wanted. The kingdom will seek them out, and Silver Earth has enough problems to deal with to look in our direction. They're a bunch of nobodies, from what I've been told. My agents have informed me that they are greenhorns. We can deal with greenhorns. Because if you say so, I personally don't like it. Because it's not for you to like it. Just listen to my instruction and make sure your people get these wagons loaded. we're already far behind schedule as it is, getting set up for the new location. And if I have to hear from that little man again, his concerns, play that children's game again, it'll be annoying. It's a local custom. You have to play the game if you want. I despise games. I despise ways to waste your time when you could be making profit and bringing about things to an end. You see at this point, as he's talking, the large kind of towering thing kind of goes and starts walking over. And you see the human man kind of like put his hands up. He goes, "Hey, what's going on?" He kind of puts his hand on his hilt. He goes, "Shut up." And he leans forward over the human, and as he opens his large maw, you see teeth and this kind of dripping looking acid kind of spill in globules onto the ground. He goes, "There it is." And you see it, this long, heavy frog-like tongue shoots out. I need Aja to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Natural 20.
All right. You see this long, heavy set, kind of ooze-covered tongue shoot out and go underneath the edge of it. And Aja kind of squeaks and runs back. I'm assuming you want her to return to you?
Yeah, she's gonna bolt across, and then after she's out of sight of everyone, I'm just going to make her disappear.
Okay. So she squeaks, and vanishes from sight. You see the black-skinned reptilian individual kind of look over and go, "What are you doing? What is it this time?" You hear, "Oh, I saw more food. This warehouse keeps making food. I like it." He goes, "You need to stop playing with your food. We'll not be here longer, and I can't have you stomping over things or risking breaking anything." He goes, "I won't break anything. Unless there's a party to be had, then I'll break everything." He goes, "No parties tonight. Keeping it casual." He goes, "Fine." You see the human still like hand on his sword. He's like, "Oh, are we quite done here?" He goes, "Yes, we're done. Get your men vigilant and ready to guide these wagons out. I don't want to have any further delays. I don't need a repeat of our last work together. It's hard to find people to die for you. It's easier to send them to die." He's like, Sure. "Boys, we're shipping out tonight. Make sure everything's loaded. I don't want to be here any longer than I have to be." And he starts exiting. So, with that, oop.
All right. And I will recant the information.
Sure.
Since we all had the performance there.
Mhm. Vel tells you all what happens. Yeah, I said Vel tells you guys what happens.
Yeah. It sounds like the gods here might be a bit on edge if we push them or bribe them from our own. We could get them out of the way to deal with the two truly problematic individuals here.
Do you happen to know who he was talking about when he mentioned the little man?
Would I have any insight to who he meant by the little man?
Are you trained in insight?
No.
Nope. No. Morgan and her rogue senses are like, it's probably somebody who owes them money or that they have in their pocket. Little man is often a term in less than ideal society. And she gives you the old like, hi, I'm a criminal sometimes.
No.
I've been a criminal for money, sure. Like, but yeah, little man can be either just an insult or it can actually be like a code for a person. Typically, Morgan, go ahead and roll me just an intel or wisdom check, just a straight wisdom check, because you are a rogue.
That's 5.
5. Yeah. Could be anything. Could be the guy that makes their suits. Who knows?
So, I guess my question is, would any of the more persuasive or, I wouldn't describe any of us as truly intimidating, like to try and convince the captain? The other option is to not reveal ourselves and sneak in. I'm assuming that door is locked, but Morgan can likely deal with it, and we reveal ourselves rather loudly. I only saw one guard on the way to our targets, and it is targets.
Would Bucky know what this lizard thing is
Bucky has not seen this lizard thing. He's only been given a description of it.
by the description? No.
Mhm. Vel, you are trained in Arcana, right?
I am trained in Arcana.
Sure. You can roll Arcana to try to identify what these are.
What's that? 23?
23. Okay. You know the human is a human. You know the larger lizard person is seemingly extraplanar, as well as this current like leader. You know them both, and now the wingdings on the book makes a little bit more sense, as it is the language of the Slotty. And the black scaled individual is specifically a death Slotty. Thus the fitting title of Merchant of Death.
Now it's renegade, run away.
Run away!
So, as soon as you said party time,
Yeah, I know. 3 of us knew exactly what party meant.
Party. Having fun.
Ah.
Hmm.
So yeah.
that makes
Yes.
things extra sticky.
So yes, those are extraplanar creatures known as Sodi. I'm not an expert in them, but they
Yes, you are.
are.
With that roll? Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to be humble.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm the Discovery Channel. Fuck you.
Yes, they are creatures of chaos. From a plane of chaos. They're very dangerous. And the Merchant of Death is amongst the oldest and most powerful type that I'm personally aware of.
Are they weak to anything? Or are they just chaotic badasses?
They're definitely chaotic badasses, and
They're
at
not that
least
bad.
one dungeon master loves them and has to have them involved in everything.
No. They're not that bad. You can kill them as a goblin ranger quite often. It's like her favorite foe at this point.
It is interesting knowing they are extraplanar, as this amulet that protects me will make them have a hard time hurting me, which is nice. But that wouldn't protect any of you. Personally, I'm not sure. Would I be able to identify the type of Slotty that the albino one is?
You would hope it's not a white, because those are horrendous.
Yeah.
But looking it over, it's rather strange. It looks like it's not quite right. Is the
Yeah.
best you can say. I mean, even with your as good of an Arcana check, you know that the size alone would put you towards like maybe a blue or a green. But it's just pale white skin just seems ill-fitting. Either there's something wrong with it or something very dangerous about it.
Yeah.
So
These
I
are.
was gonna ask, in your professional opinion, how would you suggest to approach this situation then?
I think we don't need any additional problems. If we can avoid the humans or get them to leave, it would be highly beneficial.
Which to that you do know they're
These
loading wagons.
they're loading wagons right now, and they are intending to leave quite soon.
So, Belafil, you said that that big fella tried to eat Aja when she was shaped as a rat, right?
Yes.
I got me some rodent traps that we might be able to catch some rats with, and maybe draw him out or separate him out away from everybody else. Is that something that you might want to entertain?
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, there's plenty of rats around here. I shouldn't imagine it's too hard to trap them.
That's not a bad idea, Mr. Orr.
Well, thank you.
Maybe with some of our old, rations and whatnot. I could try to go talk to the human. I'm not quite sure what I would say or how I'd approach him, really, or how to turn him away from doing whatever he's doing.
They're getting paid 15 gold a person a week.
You knew that to be the people who are helping move stuff. These look like what Bucky would say is mercenaries. They actually have weapons and armor.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
him being told to go tell the people to get moving. Okay, sorry.
Correct. No, that's all right. So I want to clarify.
So they could be getting paid more. Like they are.
What about some kind of diversion with the carts?
What are you suggesting?
Oh, maybe get the horses riled up, possibly even spook them into running off. Might cause the humans to go after the horses and leave us to fight the slotty.
I like that idea.
Didn't he the leader human fella say they were leaving tonight? So if we just let
They
them
did.
be, they'll go on their own way and be gone come
Well,
sometime tonight.
I'm not sure that we want them to finish this delivery either.
Ah,
And we don't know that our target here wouldn't be going with them. In fact, I presume he would be. It sounded like things were in motion, likely things in motion in a northern city from here, expecting a delivery to help reinforce all this bullshit. So, why don't we try and catch some rats, see if we can make a piece of candy trail. And, were horses hooked up to the wagons up front?
You can hear them, yeah. There are horses that are already set for the wagons, and as the shouting is already kind of building just from this conversation, the more perceptive of you can hear that they are like probably in like the last 10 minutes to half an hour of prep before they ride out for whatever it is their destination is.
Right, so we don't have that much time. I don't think we have time to catch creatures. So why don't we try and get the horses to run off?
Would lighting it on fire cause them to run off, do you think?
I was just about to ask if Vel, in those papers, if you saw what perhaps they were loading and carrying off, because I wouldn't want to. I was going to suggest also setting fire to something. However, if it's something that is flammable, dangerous for the town,
Really enjoy setting fire to things. Maybe Cole's right. Shit.
Colt's words echo.
Uranus,
A wagon.
Can't just burn everything down.
The voice of Colt in my head, just like, gonna burn down the city.
Colt up in the heavens, just like, and you can't just sit there burning fires and doing all that kind of shit.
Didn't Miss Fiberhair say not to go burning down the warehouse? Didn't work the last time somebody tried it.
The merchant said that. Yeah, he said don't.
Oh, that
try to burn
was Rain. What's his face?
Yeah.
Rainwave.
He said don't try to burn it down. He said don't just try to burn it down. So if we do something in addition to that, that might be okay.
You know what might startle horses and men is if a large fat zombie man appeared in between the wagons and just started attacking.
That would certainly spook most horses out.
Because I can put him 90 feet away from me.
I was actually going to suggest maybe some spooky voices in their head too, coming from out of nowhere.
The horses?
The horses, the people, 120 feet away.
We could
in some
use
bushes.
like minor illusion to be like, yeah.
It sounds like there's a number of things to consider. Let's before we get too deep into it, it's 8:52 now. We'll take a break. Let's shoot for 5 minutes. We seem good, right? 5 minutes.
Actually, can we do 10?
Yeah, we can do 10. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do 10 minutes. It's 8:52 now. We'll shoot for 9:02, 9:03. We'll be back with you guys for more Second Wake after the break. The group will decide how they want to do this. Ooh, God, don't sue me, Matt Mercer. All right. See you guys in a bit. Till then, peace out. Hey, look at that. We came right back. What is this doing? Hello. Hello, everyone, and I can see how you did that, Land. How y'all doing? Thanks for sticking with us over the break. If you're still here, or for playing to an empty audience, well, screw yourself. As we always say, only level 20 characters stay after the break, so if you're still here, you're still hearing my dulcet tones, congrats. You're a level 20 character. We appreciate you. When we last left for break, actually, I'm sorry, what? Hey, YouTube, welcome back from break. It was like 5 seconds. What was that even? 10 minutes? Nothing. Whatever. When we left for break, the group had stealthed their way up. They enjoyed a lovely dinner. They went after the Merchant of Death, and they came to find a number of things as they had their Velithil's pet, Aja, turned into a rat. Searched the warehouse a little bit, saw that there are armed guards that are loading up wagons with the intent of leaving this night. Apparently some human man being given command of these wagons and seeing them off from this warehouse that is currently being occupied by Yetzukallas. The group has currently decided, or rather is deciding, what their next step is in that math. And so, yeah, that is where we're at. The group continues to hear men shouting from inside the warehouse. They can hear the sliding of wood being slammed down. A number of people kind of shouting and barking back, saying, "Be careful with that! Fragile! Stop slamming it!" You start hearing more and more echoes coming from the north end. You can hear the neighing and kind of stamping of various horses that exist on the north end. And it looks as if the wagons are just about ready to leave within the next few minutes or so. And that is where we're at.
Alright, so here's the simple fact of it. JJ or Bucky, do either one of you want to try and persuade or dissuade the gods?
I think if we reveal ourselves, we're going to end up fighting them. That's my biggest concern.
I was going to mention this close to the warehouse, it's gonna spark attention real quick.
Yeah.
Maybe if we can get them just on their way out of town, perhaps. But it's
I don't want those horses leaving town. I also don't want them on fire running through the town, to answer anyone who was about to suggest that again. And now I will summon my rat on my shoulder.
The rat goes,
She's an excellent punctuation.
meanwhile, in the bushes, you hear, as Chunkini looks at the fat little rat and's like, just one heavyweight claw.
First off, Chunkini, she's pleasantly plump. And second off, you know she's made of shadow and dust. You won't get a meal out of it.
Like Chunkini cares.
Right. JJ, do you want to try and make the horses run off? Because it sounded like the most subtle way we could do it would be you whispering to their ears.
yeah. But they are currently hooked up, right?
I mean, if you guys want, you can send somebody up north to scout, but right now you're working off of a rat scout, and you're placing a lot of your planning and your insight on very limited information, in my opinion. But it's up to you guys. You don't have visuals on the horses, you can just hear them from up north, but you're currently hiding in the bushes with a 20.
Yeah.
I think we need a little more information on the loading area if we want to approach that situation.
Do you want to move up there by yourself, or perhaps just take Morgan? I don't know if we want to go as a whole large group this time.
Yeah.
could go.
Yeah.
Oh, before you go, Morgan, can you see about unlocking this door? Because I presume it's locked. But quietly.
We can do that.
Do you want to unlock the metal door, or do you want to try for the double doors that are sealed to the north of you?
Oh, I thought we just had the one side door here.
There's a double pair of double doors on the north end, and on the south end that Aja squeaked under is a metal door. Up to you guys.
I guess the metal door, because that's the one we're closest to, right?
You're equidistant for the most part. You can see the double doors literally right next to you. It's doors, walls, the bushes you're in, right? A window, a glass-facing window where you can just see the one row of warehouse boxes, and then immediately to the south of you, right on the other side of these bushes, is a single metal door that you know is right next to like where this person's desk was.
Okay. Yeah, that seemed
while,
like it was furthest from everyone, so let's go with the metal door.
while we're all still together, Bucky's gonna hand out 2 healing potions to each person from
Mhm.
the.
Mark down that you have 2 healing
Great.
potions. And then Morgan, if you want to try to unlock this metal door, go ahead and give me a Thieves Tools check when you're able.
Is that just a D20?
It's a D20 plus your dexterity plus your proficiency, since you're proficient with Thieves Tools. So it'll be a D20 plus your dex plus 3, I think is right now.
Bucky will also resummon Frick
Okay.
from the extra dimensional hole.
20.
20. Okay. You pull open your Thieves Tools, you slide in your pick, and you start feeling around. You can start kind of hitting the dots as they go along the inside of this lock. It's a very well made lock, but with a 20, you just manage to find all of the pins. You feel they roll into place and lock, and slowly you feel a turn and a click, and the deadbolt for this door unlocks rather smoothly and quietly. You feel the handle. You go about working on that as well, and another smooth click, and the door seems to be able to be open now.
Okay. Go get into position, see if the horses are able to be jostled off if they are, create that diversion. Any means that won't burn down the city, I approve. If you have to burn down the city, I am just going to be disappointed, but I understand.
Terrible, terrible monster people.
I understand what I'm dealing with now.
So Morgan, what do you guys want to do? You've unlocked the door, but what do you guys want to do? What is the plan? We're all for burning down carts, but what is the actual physical plan? Who wants to do what?
I think Moore and JJ were gonna go try and see over the loading bay area.
Mhm.
Let's do this.
So we'll start with that.
That's mage armor.
Okay, cast mage armor. So JJ and Moore are gonna head north to the loading bay area.
Mhm.
Both of you guys go ahead and give me a stealth check. Oh, she phases through a wall.
Yeah, etherealness.
So Morgan, what we get?
24.
Okay, JJ, what we get?
17.
Like shadows in the night. You all head up and continue onward for quite a bit. You get to the edge and you start peeking over the back area. The pair of you come to view one of the first carts. It has already been loaded with a horse. And as you're peering in, you continuously see individuals moving back and forth, loading heavy-looking crates. You see, again, a rather better-dressed man walk forward and start looking over the things, holding a large, like, more or less like taking people's documents from them and looking it over and counting the crates and moving through. I need the pair of you, if you're listening in, to roll for perception. Morgan and JJ, what do we get?
20 unnatural.
Okay, and Morgan?
12.
12, okay. The pair of you listen in. Morgan, you have a bit more of a difficult time, but working together, you kind of piece together a bit of the conversations. You overhear the guards kind of talking back and forth with the well-dressed man, and he kind of looks over the thing here, and he goes, "All right, this looks like it's all present accounted for. You know the way?" And you hear, "Yes, sir, of course I know the way. I'm from here." And he goes, "Oh, good that you're from here. I'm going to be driving the other the other wagon. I don't want to deal with anyone on there. Most everyone on the path has already been paid off. We're to head northward and then cut over to the fields themselves where the new enterprise is being made. If you get lost, simply send up a color. You know the color for tonight?" He goes, yellow, I think. He goes, "It's blue. Tonight is blue. If you fire off a blue flare, I'll know you've gotten lost. I'll turn back. We'll come and get you. Keep your hands clean, and of course, as you well enough know, you didn't see anything in here, and our employer is just a very wealthy noble." He goes, yes, sir, of course, a wealthy noble. Can I ask, what are we? And you cannot ask. Don't worry about it. It's far beyond your pay grade. And once we're gone from here, we'll not have to think of it for quite some time. So, ready to leave? And you see both of the men kind of give a nod. They tighten the straps on their leather helmets, and the pair of them climb into the driver's seat of this wagon. You see this individual walk forward, do one last pass, looks over in your direction, but as you both kind of cling to the sides in the shadows, he kind of looks around and goes, "History is made one way or another." And then he starts making his way to check on the other cart. What do you want to do?
JJ is going to turn back
Mhm.
and point towards everyone else, and I guess towards Vel in particular, since she is the leader of said group now,
Mhm.
and say, first carriage is leaving. They're going to the steam fields.
By word or by force, stop them.
More. She said, stop the cart.
How do you want to do that?
You hear a whipping sound. You can see the other cart is being kind of moved along, and it starts moving. They start trotting away.
How far away are they?
At this point, let's do this. 1 minute. There we go. Let's bring this back up. Yoink. So, peering it along the way, you note that the first card is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, so 35, 40 feet in total away from you. And then from there, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, about 90 to 100 feet for the second cart. They all seem loaded in and ready to leave.
Well, the problem is if anything happens, to shoot the blue flare.
I could put this wagon to sleep. Is it in direct view?
This one is, yeah. These two guys.
Well, the other wagon.
That could work. If Morgan's going to do that, JJ is going to point another finger back to Vel again and be like, sleeping. Moore's going to put the kids to sleep. The other wagon has the human boss. They do have blue flares for danger. And that's it.
It's good to know.
We just worry about this wagon and then figure out the rest after.
Well, I just need to figure out how to approach the human. I don't know where the Slod folk are the problem.
Orville, you up for something stupid?
It's my last name, Judd.
You looking as you guys are deciding and talking amongst yourselves, the first cart peels out and starts making its way northward. You see the two guys on the second cart go, oh, make sure we stay close to him. I don't want to get lost. So, okay. And they start whipping the horses, and the horses start slowly moving forward out of the station. Any actions?
I'm going to cast invisibility on Orville.
Okay, you do so.
Using my once per day.
Sure. Orville, Bucky, Morgan, JJ, anything you guys want to do in the 6 seconds?
I'm gonna cast sleep, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Bucky's gonna whip out the scroll of hex that he's been carrying forever and cast it.
On what? You're 70
Wait,
feet
you
away
can-
in a bush.
I don't think you need a specific target for hex.
Yes, you do. Target creature.
You need
A
to.
creature that you can see within range.
Boom. Range is 90 feet, but you have to be able to see them. So if you want to walk out of cover all the way up to where the girls are and then cast it, you can.
Nah, that's okay.
Okay. So what do we get for sleep, Morgan?
24.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. You cast sleep over these two individuals. You see the pair of them like, oh, let's not and the pair of them kind of like clink heads together, and the horses are like slowly trotting forward. But then as the reins go slack, the horses kind of come to a stop. You start hearing commotion from inside, and you hear, "Hey, get out of here. You're supposed to go." You start hearing these big, kind of heavy, slapping footsteps heading northward. What do you want to do?
Orville, head in, get into position.
Orville will do his best to open the metal door in front of him.
Sure.
And make his way inside.
All right. Let's move him here. All right. You move on in. Are you going to try to do it stealthily?
Sure.
Okay, roll stealth.
Am I rolling an advantage because I'm invisible?
Yes, that's what invisibility does.
19 plus, I think it's 4?
Okay.
Yeah, 23.
The door opens smoothly. You enter into the facility. You look far and down away from you, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet from you. You see the well-dressed, black-scaled, slotty individual known as the Merchant of Death, standing, looking listfully out through this kind of like open-looking window that exists on the kind of loading bay doors. And he just kind of like looks out, and he has a cane up to like the middle part of his chest.
So
wrong
he's
one.
looking out towards the south.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's looking out over the bay from what you can tell.
Okay.
Vel, Bucky, Gals, you hear this big thundering steps as this individual starts making their way. Orville, did you want to duck behind the walls themselves?
Can I duck behind the desk?
Sure, yeah. You can get behind the desk. Sure. Easy to do.
Not
For
right now.
our other folks, what actions do you guys want to take? You hear the thundering steps, so you know you probably have like one more action you can take before this guy gets to where the cart is.
Before I act, I want to see what JJ and Morgan decide to do.
Okay. JJ, what do you want to do? Or Morgan? You're hearing these big, like, these big slimy sounding feet hammer away, coming towards you.
Trying to decide if she wants to hop on to the cart and maybe try and pull it out just a little bit to keep things looking normal.
Well, let me know what you decide.
Could
Precious little time.
I minor illusion their voices that we heard earlier?
Sure.
She's like, yeah, sorry, we're going.
All right. Go ahead and
Drop something.
go ahead and give me a deception check.
JJ's going to tap on Moore's shoulder, say, "You got this," and give her
Inspiration. Okay. So you can roll an extra D6, is it? Or D8?
It is a D.
8, because you're level 5, I think, right? So it is.
Yep, D8.
So you can roll that D8 if you don't like your result, but if you like your result, you don't have to use it, and you can save it for later, up to a minute from now.
I'll take a 16 then.
16? Okay. This guy's gonna roll. You kind of minor illusion a sound echoing from the cart, and hear, "Oh yeah, sorry. We're leaving now." And he goes, "Well, you best be going. Let's just stay in for food."
JJ will cast message to the horse, one of the horses, and tell it to go gently.
Okay. The
And
horse
move
hears
forward.
you tell it that, and it's a horse. Bucky, anything you want to do?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Orville, anything you want to do? Or Vel? Actually, Vel's first. Anything you want to do?
I'm going to head down to be right outside of the door.
Okay. Orville, anything you want to move?
Could I move from behind the desk to between the first and second rows?
Sure. You want to be like here?
One to the right of that. Perfect.
Okay. You lean over and you look. You can see this individual smoking this long pipe, again holding a cane, like a beaded, almost like a rosary type of deal, hanging from his wrapped hand. And you just hear this like puffing sound, and then you see this kind of like twist and look to the right. What are you currently thinking, Orville?
That's a good question.
It is, especially when I have a guy who has detect thoughts.
Yeah. Damn. I'm thinking about that cane. I'm
Like-
wondering.
What's that cane? What's that cane? What's that cane? You hear, this cane is a gift. One from an old friend of mine, handmade for me, rat. No doubt you're some sort of assassin come to claim the prize on my head. Why don't you save us both the trouble? And we speak as civilized folk ought to. I'm not as easy of prey as your others. And whatever they're paying you, I'll double it to walk away. You seem to have this understanding that I will die, and you will be a hero, as most do. But let me tell you how it works. You stab me, maybe you get lucky, and I'm just slowed down for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'm back to doing exactly what I want to do. Or I can just hand you a life-changing amount of money because you get to keep your life. But please, come out, and I'll show you the cane I carry. More than happy to entertain guests. And he's not looking in your direction. He's still looking like he had this moment of like looking, and then it just like returned to like staring straight faced out into the bay and just speaking to himself, but loud enough for anyone to hear him. What do you want to do? What are you thinking about now, Orville?
I'm feeling a little intimidated, and honestly, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And like we can just pay off our debts with Potion Guy and be on our merry way.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw, Orville.
That's a total of 8.
8. You feel this overwhelming force slowly push deeper into the front of your cranium, digging past into you and gaining further insight, a bit almost taking with it a little bit of who you are. When you hear, oh, I'm overjoyed. The little greenhorns came to me. You're out of your depth, boy. I shouldn't be so rude. Orville, you wouldn't want to have any problems with me. Too many others, your predecessors, have tried. They've all failed. I'm not your enemy. I'm merely the man handing out swords. Rather, I'm the being you want to get to know. Tell your friends to come out if they're here. I'll tell them now. A preemptive strike will only see one of them killed. At this point, in this venture, if you attack Krektim, there's not a soul on Earth, all of the Everwield, that'll be able to stop them from ripping your heads clean off. But I can be reasoned with, a deal made, and happily to pay a few flies to go bother with someone else's shit. What do you want to do?
Can Orville try and like back away and back out the door?
Sure, you certainly can. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Still at advantage?
Still at advantage, yeah. You can't pinpoint where you're at, but he can pull your thoughts.
18.
18? Okay. You boop, 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 boop. Very gingerly open the door, slide out, you get away. The door kind of like has a quiet click. You guys hear from up north, the other slutty kind of shout and go, "If you all aren't moving in the count of 4, I'm gonna rend your skulls open and eat you. Full party, baby." And he starts walking up. You hear this like, 1, 2. Anything you guys want to do?
I don't know what to do.
Could technically Mage Hand smack something? Like just a tap?
Yeah, of course. Just can't go over a
Can
certain
I-
weight limit.
Yeah. Do you think that would work, JJ? Against the horses to get them moving?
3.
It might.
All right, I'm gonna kind of run up to those bushes sneakily.
Mhm.
And then while I'm up there, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand against the horses.
And just
Like,
smack their
kinda-
ass.
Exactly, yeah.
You go, the small tap on the back of the horse's ass, you hear, "Whoo!" And they kind of lurch forward and take a few steps. You see the two guys, their heads kind of tap together, and they go, what happened? And you hear, 4! And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "You." And you see the first guy kind of like turn and look nearest to him. This large frog-like maw opens up, and a tongue goes out, wraps around this guy's neck, and he is ass over tea kettle ripped out of the seat, and you see just his legs kind of kicking out of the back of this large wide mouth, and you hear a crunching sound, and he starts swallowing him whole. And he goes, you hear the other go, "Ah, shit, ah," and he whips the horses and escapes. You see the wagon peel out. You see this crunching sound. Yes. Needed that. Lazy humans. Lazy humans. And he starts walking away, and you can see there's, Morgan, you look over, and there's a pile of just like splattered blood where a person used to be.
Gross.
Orville, you, Vel, and Bucky out in the bushes. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna speak up to get Velikil's attention and like, can I break off a branch so that I can like wave it around so we know where my hand's at?
Sure. I would assume there's enough dust on the outside of this warehouse you could just like wipe your finger
Okay.
and like be like, "Hey, hi," like smiley face. But yeah, Vel, you know Orville's right in front of you.
Yeah, I was right by the door when you opened it too, so.
Mm-hmm. That fella in there can. He knew I was in there. He couldn't see me, but he spoke to me without moving his lips. Some sort of magic of some sort. And anywho, he's said that we don't want a tango and that he'll pay us to bugger off just as good.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit scared of that.
Some creatures have inherent telepathies. They are extraplania. It's nothing to be too frightened of. Sounds like the other wagon just took off. This is a monster, and I don't mean that in a sense of a creature from another plane. I mean this individual is a monster, and I'm not really interested in negotiating with him. But I can't make you fight him.
I mean, at any rate, he knows we're here, and we're expected.
I guess. There's not much of a surprise left. Should I go speak with him then?
Uh, I suppose should we all go do it together, or
Hmm.
That's entirely up to each of us individually. I'll look back and I'll see. Just kind of wave to JJ, who I can see. Like, I'm going in like a fucking dumbass.
Okay,
I'm gonna walk on in.
all right. JJ and Morgan, anything you guys want to do?
JJ's gonna shoot a message to Morgan and say, Vel is walking in. Like normal.
Bucky's gonna head towards where Morgan is.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can double move. Get there. Bucky
Do you
joins
not
in the
want to be
bushes.
invisible anymore? Orphan?
I can. I'm more than happy to go with you. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let you walk in there alone.
But do you want to be invisible or visible?
I don't think it makes much of a difference, but I don't mind being invisible for the time being, at least.
All right.
JJ?
JJ would probably head toward Vel.
Okay. Easy enough to do on a move and a double move. Get down. I assume you get the consensus that they know you're here at the very least, and there is an offer on the table to just walk away. But Vel intends to walk through the door and play it out.
Follow her lead.
Yeah, so will JJ.
Okay.
Don't forget your lance.
Bucky and Morgan, are you guys
Hey,
gonna
Buggy.
wrap around the loading bay?
Yeah, it might be a good idea to get a better line of sight.
Mhm.
So you guys will move along the sides, get as uppity as you can. You hear echoing from inside, and Vel, you walk in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you walk in, Orville invisible at your side. JJ, are you going in too?
Yep.
All right. Walk behind. You all come in. You look and you can see this black reptilian individual kind of look forward and look out and go, "Oh, well, good afternoon to each and every one of you. The Seekers of Gulani." You hear, "I think it's Gulanti." It's whatever. Apologies for my rudeness. I'm sure introductions are what they are. He moves about 15 foot closer as he turns to you all. He goes, "But we can only afford so many things out here in the boonies. I can see it's always an elf. That's where that confidence comes from. That spirit. I have no ill will of your people. Merely just a person possessed of his own ambitions, same as you. Sure, what we do is different, but I let others kill themselves. You kill other people for them. We're not so different, you and I, regardless of our current standing with the powers that be. I'm merely cashing out on a fine opportunity, and I wouldn't mind cutting you in to save you the trouble of embarrassing yourselves."
Well, suppose you'd call it that old elven curiosity then, to not just be willing to take a payout without a better understanding.
There it is. There it always is. Do you hear that in your mind? We call that pride. Pride only hurts. It never helps. It just sits there and fucks with you
something fierce. I don't want to have to kill you all, because here's how it works out. Either you win and I die right here, or what you think death is occurs. You win the day, I go back to doing what I do 3 weeks, a month from now, tops. You're the big heroes. Or...
And he raises his hand, and you hear this kind of like wet, leathery slap. And you see this, the larger individual pop out and cross from behind him.
You try, and your tale ends here. And all the papers say there was a break-in at the warehouse, and a number of unknown assailants were killed defending the property of the Baron. I think you have a clear understanding at that point.
Yes, I am gaining quite a bit more and more understanding of how things have been progressing.
It must be so difficult to be but a pawn to be played by nobility, with no say which way or the other the wind blows, with all your power, with all your strength, and nothing to do with it, aimed like a weapon, unthinking, like a simple animal. We could do such great things if you're willing to switch to a life well lived. But I don't think you're the type. I think it'd be easier to hand you a nice payday, let everyone think you won, and the wheel keeps turning.
You hear the guy behind him goes,
Are we gonna have to eat these guys? It's rather gendered. Some of them are women. I hope not.
Well, in order for me to win this day, I do have to walk out of here with your head, but I have a feeling that that's a trick you can pull off and still keep going.
My head? Is that what they're paying for these days? Sure. I think that could be arranged. If that's how you're getting paid, it saves me pittance in paying you out myself. Alternatively, if we want to spare the theatrics, I cash you out. You tell me who sent you like a dog. We deal with all our problems together, and everyone comes away smelling like roses.
Bucky and Morgan, do you guys want to move? They have not technically looked in your direction yet. So if there's
Yeah, I'm
somewhere
gonna
else you'd rather be.
move to like the other side, like 4 squares to the right.
Up to the right, like here?
No, like 4 squares over from where I was standing.
So you were
like
here.
the other bay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so you're going to go around this wall. So you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 outside. Because you have an entrance here, and then you have a wall.
Okay, I thought there was another door right there.
There are 3 doors here, but you don't know if they're open or closed. These are
Oh,
open
true.
bays where these just came through, which is where you're standing.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I think I'm gonna like just kind of stay where I am right now.
Okay, Morgan, anywhere you want to be?
I think I'm fine right here.
So, again, you see this black slotty look over.
Goes, come on now. I'm not as crazy, as kill happy as my brothers, my sisters, and my people. I've lived a long time with mortals. Watched you worship people who can fly. I can fly. Where's my church? I'm not as hungry as my brother here.
You see this big white slod kind of rub its belly and go,
I am hungry, because you're always hungry. It's a sickness in our people. But for some of us, food stops tasting good. Flesh don't hit the same itch it used to. And instead, the game is all that matters. And making sure every little piece on the board has its gear to kill as many people as it can is all that matters. So what do you say?
So, that's what you live for then.
It's one thing to tear through a village. It's easy to do. It's simple. You walk in, your hide deflects their swords, their horses tear from your claws. The whispered secrets of wizards you've eaten and devoured reveal to you the mysteries of magic, and you burn that civilization to the ground. But it's so old, boring. Separates us nothing from monsters. I have found enlightenment, my dear seekers of Gulani. I have found the joys in turning a civilization in on itself. There's a war brewing, a big one, and I can't wait to sell the weapons to one side and the solution to the other, only to watch all of them fucking kill each other. You do it yourself, you get satisfaction for a day. You incite true chaos and cause nations to kill each other. You've entertained yourself for generations and instilled chaos, pure and simple, on the populace. To this day, there isn't a human alive who has welcoming thoughts of a giant. It's a lovely thing and a badge I wear with honor.
So you're responsible for the old war, the war that's still now?
I
For
have
these
been along
humans?
much longer than you, little ears. And I'll be here long after you're dead. Probably crushed by a troll, or beaten to death, or stabbed by a loved one. Who knows? But I am what others profess to want. Chaos, distilled, pure, simple, and sold to the highest bidder. Ready at a moment's notice to empower the weak and embolden the frail, all for my amusement. So come on. Either you can step forward and be the next speed bump in what will be my legacy in this realm, or you can continue your story, walk away, and change your life, your path, with the money I can hand you. You might find it enjoyable to still breathe in this day and age, for as long as this age may last. I have always been jealous of one thing, though.
And what's that?
That would be the West. What a glorious, beautiful thing those fools you worshipped wrote. I can't say for sure what happened, but Artnum, now that is a masterstroke. I can only hope devastation reaches such a level again. It was like the first taste of whiskey on a warm day, the first sip of wine in summer, the first red blood dripped down my maw. Pure, unfiltered destruction and anarchy. Delightful.
Certainly was great by one definition or another, and always has been a place of interest to me for so many reasons.
Wouldn't you like to be able to explore it? You still got time. At least unless you're cutting it short here.
That's the thing. You talk about walking away from here and being able to breathe, but you already pointed out the problem earlier, and it's that pride. Too much of a weight on my chest to stare you down after everything that you've caused and will cause again.
What I've caused. I think we have a misunderstanding. I've done nothing. I've merely empowered those that want to take action.
Then you should take no pride in any of the chaos that you claim that you've caused.
More party too. There's a pride in such things, sure, but it's for the sake of doing at the end of the day. A business, if you will. I've learned the ways of mortals. I've educated myself on all manner of things, and I've gained a taste for the finer things. And a war, a bloodthirsty one, civilization thrown against each other's. Delightful. Again, you want to stamp your foot in the ground? That's fine. You'll be but ashes in my wake. Don't assume yourself to be ready for the death I will bring to you.
JJ's gonna put a hand on Belle's shoulder, real quick.
Mhm.
If I could, real quick. Yeah.
Oh, by all means, have your counsel. I've been told you're 6 strong. I look forward to meeting the rest of the cowards.
I mean, there's a potential that this war doesn't even happen. This being here wasn't our main objective. Our main objective is who he's supplying.
Yes. But are we just going to run away from this? Can you stand before true evil? Shake its hand and walk away with its pocket change?
It's a mighty problem. But if, we could explain in some sort of way that perhaps the Black Ram and whatnot might not be even worth his time if he's going to be dealt with before the war, whatever war he wants to start, even starts. Then he's wasted time where he could have wasted it. And it seems, by the way this being's talking, that they get to keep coming back over and over.
Yep. This is not their place. This isn't where they die. But they keep coming back. We keep sending them back. But if you want to negotiate with him, like I told Orville, I'm not going to make you fight these people. But I'm not just going to walk away from this.
You know better than I do, than most of us do. about what they're capable of, and I trust you. I'm just trying to see what's gonna end up being best, or what's going to get
I mean, based on
better
my
in the long
knowledge of
run.
at a game, based on
Mhm.
my knowledge of Slotty and the bigger one being a complete unknown, but
Mhm.
assuming him as better than Blue, do I like what would I put our chances at?
That'd be like an insight gut check type thing.
Yeah,
You know they're stupidly powerful.
yeah.
Black Slotty, especially this guy, is somebody who is well known, has a long legacy of vengeance and like effectively instilling chaos into the realm, and much of what he said kind of confirms it. He is a person who shows up, and whenever people are at each other's throats within the Everwield, this individual shows up and finds a way to embolden one side to fight another. And then when the other side starts to lose, he sells the solution to the other side or just lets it play out. There's been a number of instances where rebel groups have overwhelmed massive armies within the Everworld. There's histories that have told it. And hearing this individual speak, it's not uncommon to think like this is probably the guy who's arming like guerrilla warfare around there. And it's shades of gray, right? Your chances at this point, who knows? There's 5 of you, there's 2 of them, but you know both of them are much more durable than they appear. And especially being a mage, you know that both of them likely have access to magic. You've heard him boast as much. So you're looking at most likely 2 spellcasters that are not going to be a slouch. Might be something you can win, might be something you lose. But without like insight into them or any type of experience in dealing with them, who can say?
Yeah.
Do you want me to, I don't know where the other folks are, let them know to come here, or perhaps leave them out of this?
I think if they wanted to be seen, they'd be seen right now.
That's fair.
Morgan and Bucky are aiming their sniper rifles. Got eyes on the target.
I hate to just let him go on, but I can't really stop him, can I? Not anymore. And I hate that knowledge.
Maybe not today, but maybe further down the road. But it is up to you. I'll stand by you.
I don't want to
As
march
will I.
us to our death. You're not holding to the Ram or Montserrat or the King, and neither are we. So you want us to walk away. And what if we don't want money? What if we want information?
Oh, now you're talking like a player and less like a pawn. I could certainly be coerced to letting a few little whispers free of these big old lips. Come now. Tell me what you want to know, little ears. I'll be more than happy to whisper sweet nothings to you and your group if it means that a bit more blood spills on the grass.
I want to know about the Black Ram. I want to know about what he's working on. I want to know about what he's capable of.
There are a lot of wants, a lot of needs, and he is one of my current customers. But you find yourselves catching me on a good day. You agree to just leave me be, speak to no one about what you saw today, and you give me the name of the person who turned you on my trail. I'll tell you everything you want to know about the Black Ram of the Steam Fields.
I know somewhere Morgan is gripping the sides of her chair going, money though.
She literally just posted it in chat.
Oh,
Just
shit.
looking at it like, Morgan,
My
you're going to
voice
want
on
to
the
talk
wind.
to someone else about being the leader of this group because Belle doesn't have your best interests in heart.
You just hear
Morgan's-
Morgan's voice go through your head. It's like, take the money. Take the money. Ask for
Chunkini,
his head too.
Chunkini just like playing with your coin purse.
I gotta murder an asshole for killing Colt.
True. Bigger picture.
I'm gonna look back at JJ and the void that is Orville.
It's like a little shimmering
Kind
outline
of
of a
curious
goblin.
what they think of that offer.
If we go telling them who went and told on them, what's to keep them from thinking that we won't go and tell on them for anybody else down the line? The whole don't kiss and tell sort of thing.
Yeah.
Break it once, break it multiple times.
No, I definitely agree with that. How about just for walking away? We don't need a fight. You're in a good mood, you say?
Hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
get a name. You
Yeah,
probably don't
fun.
need a name.
Oh, I don't need a name, but it would help me know who was bold enough to send a couple of weavers after me. Overall, walking away is fine, but you don't owe them anything. More than likely, I'd just be cleaning the trash up for you. What's worse, someone knowing that you know me, I'm still alive, you're still alive, or someone dying you had a passing interest with earlier. No one needs to know we know each other. No one needs to know you walked away from a fight. Don't want to detriment your growth as heroes of the realm. I want to see what you all become. You've got a lot of salt, and I can't do nothing with salt yet, but you might make a fine dish one day, and that is a war I want to see happen. So what's it gonna take, Seekers? What's the deal on the table? Hurry before my friend gets hungry. He's only had a man tonight.
Your friend's always hungry.
How'd you know? We could have a party.
People keep offering us those in these cities we travel through.
Would you be able to reroute those carriages? Or wagons, rather.
Afraid that's already left the station, little one. Besides, what's already gone there is just more of the same. Things to help expansion. But I won't turn that hand over to you till we have a deal. As I say, I could be your best friend or your worst enemy. I'm hoping you're a bit smarter than those idiots I had chasing through the steam fields on a red heron. Same family, though, so my expectations are rather low.
Interesting that you take credit for that when...
Was my idea. Your old horn friend needed a solution to a couple of nosy problems. What better than a heroic quest through the steam fields to track down and kill again? Someone we put the whole thing on. Again, I think you can understand the gravity of that information and know that what I know is well worth negotiating for. It's a good idea. This voice is a motherfucker.
Sorry, I'm unable to drink soda and coughing my brains out. What'd you just say?
Don't worry about it.
I legit didn't hear you. I was coughing
Oh.
too loud.
No, I was just saying that the voice is, you took a sip of your soda. I was like, that's a good idea. Let me take a sip too. Tears the back of my throat up something fierce. Getting there though.
You want to be heroes. This is your chance. Dying when no one can see you in a warehouse against someone you can't kill ain't exactly heroic. It's what dogs do. You're not dogs, are you?
Well, not the first person to liken me to one. I don't like you,
That's fine.
but I can't kill you.
You can't.
Part of me wishes I didn't know that, because then I could be a stupid hero and just try and stop you.
You could try.
That's why I said try.
You'd be joining a long line of those who did the same.
But I'm more interested in the background than you.
Always a bigger fish.
Red wave.
1 second.
Everyone's having problems.
Sorry,
He can't wear
yeah.
his headphones. I'm coughing to death over
It was
here.
dying. Sorry. Here we go. You're good to go.
The merchant, his name was Renwave.
Accepted.
He turns and looks at his friend. He goes,
Red Wave was a hobgoblin fella. About 18 stalls away. Looks like a bit of a gypsy to me. Bit of a tradesman from the west. Wears boots, if I'm not mistaken. You go ahead and take care of him.
you hear,
You got it.
he turns around and he swings these 2 rear doors open. You hear, party time. And in like 3 steps, you see him as he steps out into the night sky. His skin becomes translucent. He turns invisible and walks away.
So, I think that's a matter of trust in this regard. You gave me what I wanted. The other half will happen when your butts leave these doors. So, call your friends in. Let's have a chat. What do you want to know?
Bucky, Morgan, I don't know where you're hiding, but this isn't a fight.
You guys have been
We're
hearing this whole
getting
conversation.
information.
Mm-hmm. Well, boot, scoot, and boogie in there.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to be on the other side of that shelf if I can.
This one?
No, other
Oh,
way.
this shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky, do you want to be closer to the party too, or further away, or?
Be next to Morgan.
Oh, you want to be next to? Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll step closer, still keeping myself the closest to him from the party.
Sure. Do you guys want to all move up?
JJ will stay right behind Bill.
Okay.
Orville will move up and carry the candle with him.
Okay. Like a small burning candle.
Yeah, just a floating candle.
I will put you on the
Can
side.
you swing me like down in front of the desk and next to JJ?
Okay, sorry there. Yeah. So he looks you all over and he goes,
Well, now isn't this just a ragtag group? So rare they don't put a human in charge of you people. Curious, but I'm not one to judge. So come then. What do you want to know about the Ram and his struggle against humanity?
What's he working on in the steam fields?
The future, mostly. But I suppose that doesn't suffice for your inquiry. He's built a factory, building up a lot of saltpeter and various other chemical goods. Gave him a couple of fun little toys I came across up north. Ready to sunder a few knights.
I think I know what kind of toys you're talking about.
Perhaps. Rumor is, which I still don't see him, your whipping boy, Hobgoblin, was carrying something similar.
Well,
Don't see him here. He ready to come shoot me?
no.
Because I hope he doesn't miss.
No. He won't be coming here. Now you can understand why I have such interest in the Black Ram.
Oh, revenge is such a delicious dish to see play out. Oh, I can't wait to hear the news. Hope I can see it myself. But my eyes ain't what they used to be. Now I have to hear it from the birds and the bees. Oh, yeah. What else you got, kid?
Is the Ram working with Montserrat?
Monster what? Oh, that fool who's speaking in a booming voice.
Yes.
A lot of folks hating humanity. Seems curious whether or not they're in the same bed or all just fighting their own individual wars.
I don't tend to get the news of that individual this far out. But I've heard a tale or two about him. Technically, I am partly to blame for why they're here. That device your predecessors unintentionally activated was a bit of a pull from beyond this world. Lured that loudmouth right here. Haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but I hear they're keeping a certain prince rather busy. I can safely say the Ram got nothing to do with him. And hey, whenever you're the top of the food chain, everyone wants to take a bite. Besides, wouldn't it work out good for your people if humanity just disappeared?
You'd make a lot of others back home agree with that.
I have. Many times. Many, many times. So close. So close.
What's the ram capable of? His powers, magics. He can create illusions, I know that.
Illusion, sure, but that's nothing but cheap parlor tricks. The ram's power doesn't lie in items or ability, but in their words, their ideals. I merely did introductions. The ram wanted people who would be willing to clear out a good living space for him and his. And I merely did formal introductions for a group of individuals that had been repressed for a number of years by humanity. The ram is but, well, the head of the beast. That body is over 25 feet tall and quite angry.
And justifiably so.
As they should be, as all things are. Wouldn't a peaceful world be nice? Never gonna be that way so long as people desire what others have.
Does the ram want anything more than the southern region, or is it he's saying he's gonna work with his large friends to take over the rest, or is it just words to him, you think?
From what I can tell, regicide is on the menu. Storming and taking back what was lost to those boulder throwers all those years ago seems to be what they're after. The ram has the ability to win the hearts and minds of people who have been beaten back for far too long. And with it, he is very close to freeing that which was sealed away all those generations ago. The true might of the mountains themselves. The Thunderer, the Great One, Valric, sealed
Hey.
away.
History check?
Yeah, history check that, please.
Go for it.
Ouch. What's that? 12?
Okay.
21.
Okay, so Vel with a 12. You both know that the name is that of the Thunderer, specifically. Was once the one true chosen supposed king of giants, and was a very, very powerful storm giant that would actually command the skies themselves to strike and cast down their enemies. Many in history, JJ would know. This is more now JJ with her 21. JJ, you would have heard songs, tales, whispers about Giantkin, and how this being, this king of giants, so to speak, effectively was going to fight back and destroy most of humanity, as much as they could, and they commanded power enough to rival the Realm Weavers. Many spoke that this king would ascend one day and become another Realm Weaver, would become effectively a god amongst mortals. With that, there are a number of bard tales, songs, heroic victories of humanity that state that the king, the Thunderer themselves, was sealed away deep below the bowels of the Everwield and locked, eternal, within an ever-living piece of stone.
Um,
You can just say I tell everybody that.
yeah,
Yeah, there
she
you go.
she tells everyone that. Do you know where he's locked away?
Well, considering he's built himself a fortress in the steam fields, and that many would say that such geothermal activity is the beings and blood of giants itself. Stands to reason he's found that stone, and he is nearing on freeing the one king of the mountain.
We got king under the mountain, king of the mountain.
Hmm.
There's a lot of mountain kings.
King under the mountain, adorable.
Yeah, seemed like that one's more of a queen.
Not for much longer.
Well, that's hardly of much concern to us at this point. How many giants serve the ram?
Hard to say.
Approximately.
Not all of them are fighters, which I assume you care about. He's got a few that still call the hills their home, but that maybe half dozen at best. Once had a lumber and stone fella, but word around the campfire is they no longer stomp around the hills. I assume we have you to thank for that.
Traded a good man's life for that.
The rest of the stones may be... hard to say from what I could see when I was there. Maybe a handful, 3 or 4. They're not the ones to worry about. All of them will die easily enough. Small arms can cut them, bleed them out, bring them down. The one you should be concerned about is one that not even the king still knows exists. Grants, the son of Magnus, a fire giant, and one with the largest chip I've ever seen on a shoulder.
Do a history check on that.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, same.
I will as well.
Sure.
More focused on the father than the son.
Mhm.
Dice, come on, man. 15.
15, okay.
13.
13, okay. JJ?
9.
9. Working together as a group. You have not really heard this name. Again, from what you can assume, there are titles associated with it, which probably mean something to people who are among giant culture. But kind of there's not a lot of like heraldry when it comes to giant people. They've been assumedly eradicated by humanity. The kingdoms of the kingdoms of Ravon are built on the bones of the once proud giant kingdoms. The way in which it's said, you assume it's probably a last surviving member of royalty among giants. Just from base knowledge, fire giants themselves are very, like, history tells you, they're very, like, pro-war, pro-vengeance, hold grudges, love to live deep in the earth, and will happily, hurl fire and break people. You can assume, again, a bubbling acidic bath that the steam fields has been made out to be. Probably a beautiful place for someone who's effectively immune to fire.
So if he's got giants, who else does he have thus far?
Couple smatterings of what's left of the old army. Those that grew from the earth, commanded to their will. Think you all call them Goliaths. He's collected most of the last remaining tribes. Delivered some of those messages personally. A lot of them want to see things made right for those that call giants their people. Past that, he's got financial backing. Not that I need the incentive to help a freedom fighter, but it helps pay off folks like yourself when times are right. The biggest thing I can see is this children's game they've got everyone playing has a number of very powerful, very wealthy, and very game playing individuals involved. Wherever he's getting his finances from, those pockets are damn near bottomless. It all comes
Not
down.
even you know whose that is?
There's a certain point where you don't poke your head in the hive if you don't need to. I've heard them, same as you, some sorcerers or whatnot, exist far to the west, but they've not reached out to me. And considering the wealth at their fingertips and all that they've set up for this little game people are playing, I can only assume that if they wanted me gone, I would be gone. For those are people that I would actually be afraid of.
There's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish. Or frog.
I was gonna ask if you think that maybe he's just a pawn in their game.
Oh, I think you're thinking far too small, little one. There's no such thing here. Sure, he may be a pawn in some respects, but people want to see violence. The economies of the different realms all move when war is at the forefront. People want to be heroes. They want to swing swords. They want to wear armor that makes them feel safe. They want to use the newest spell in their spell book, and they want to feel good doing it. At the end of the day, all living things just want to kill. It's a tenet. You don't live that long. You've got to write your story in the blood of your enemies. And there's a number of people that have seen things sit for far, far, far too long. And thus, that's the role I play, facilitating people to achieve what they want, their destinies. This history of violence and anarchy. The wheel turns, and it's got such ridiculous spokes.
Feel like everything I was told in Ren's Fork was a lie. How dangerous are the steam fields for us to enter?
Oh, you bit that hook, line, and sucker. Steam fields ain't nothing more than a couple of pretty baths of water. Real nice time, in fact. Do you good to sit in one of those pools. I hear they got a bit of a spa treatment, in fact. More than likely, their facility has expanded beyond the ability to hide it.
And building the weapons from the north there?
They're at least getting the rights to the production in line and making sure this little warehouse of mine provides all the tooling they need in production. But all things come at a cost. They're working a number of people to the bone. All of them are too happy to do it too. They all have something to believe in, a hero to lead them against the vile and hated king of humans. Ain't that something? You tell people your best interests are at heart, and they'll fight death itself for you. Kinda a dark mirror of sorts for you all, I'd assume.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Nothing I can think of at this moment.
Hmm.
What's
What?
going on with Rin's Fork?
Hmm?
What's going on with Rin's Fork?
Not
And
much.
the Baron.
Oh, the blanket baron? The same shit
Yep.
you've seen 1,000 times. Sata. Humans only trust other humans. So the ram had to get a human on his side. And what better than a hornophile? One who saw the southern races as people to be desired and learned from, their culture adapted and an all too welcoming hand to shelter them from the cold. Word is he invited them right out of the fields themselves, gave them a place to live, and welcomed their game. And, well, I don't think a better investment has ever been made for deceit. That Baron knows who to speak to.
Does the Black Ram have a spy in Silverhearth? Is that who's slandering us?
A spy in Silverhearth, I don't know. I don't go out to human cities that often. Word around is your Baron friend was told to put a bad reputation out about you. Wouldn't be too surprised if the folks at Silverhearth ain't too happy about your failed assassination of a Baron. No doubt they called your lady, but that's just speculation. My birds and bees don't go everywhere. Sometimes information is slow.
They're saying we tried to kill the Baron.
All I've heard is there were assassins in the manor. They failed. The Baron has hired additional security from the local color. Gotta keep him safe after all. Even from himself.
Most of what we saw of the ram was just an illusion of him armored.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all for show, or is he a tiefling, or?
Oh, he is a tiefling in name and blood only. That ram is a being born from the blood of the earth itself. Even I am not quite sure exactly what they are anymore. It's one thing in my business to reach out and rise up from your people. It's another to take all you were born for and offer it to the powers of the world to be granted strength. Not unlike your horn friend here. Nothing but a loser, begging for scraps at the table of someone with real power. Not sure what you'd call him anymore, but he's far removed from a simple tiefling. He truly is a creature possessed with a sole purpose and with the backing of someone truly strong. If you saw that illusion, it only tells me how green you really are in this game. Ain't no illusion alive can be cast very far. If you saw it, he definitely had eyes on you when you were aware of it.
No, I was aware of that.
Well then, maybe you should share with the rest of your class, because it appears a couple people are failing these tests. Does nothing to be the smartest person in the room if you're not letting everyone else in on the conversation. Unless you're trying to be the next me, which I'm flattered. The world ain't big enough, though.
Are we done here?
That's entirely up to you. Have I satiated your questions, your thirst for knowledge? Has it been quenched? Or might you have some lingering thoughts that I might be able to provide to you, my associates?
Look around the group, see if everyone's satisfied.
A candle flickers.
I think I'm out of questions.
Me as well.
Same.
Yeah, we're good here.
And I guess our business is done.
Truly a much better way to spend an evening than bleeding out and crying for your weavers. I wish you all a good evening, and I hope that all that you hope to do is at least entertaining. I'm sure you all have your ways to get in touch with me in the event we ever need to do business again. But just to be safe, the desk behind you, top drawer on the left, help yourselves to some of my business cards. Be more than happy to talk with you anytime. We could set up a appointment in the future. Your
I
mommy
will go and take one of his business cards.
don't need to know.
You open the drawer and you see a stack of these like purple and crimson business cards with this like swirling looking eye. It actually looks like one of his like bloodshot reptilian eyes. And on the back of it is legitimately like a dedicated sending spell that's been etched into like a kind of like gold filigree on the back of the card, and it looks like it goes directly to him.
JJ will also take 3.
Take 3 cards.
She will take 3.
All right.
I'm just gonna pass these out to some people.
He's got like a stack of 50. You're like, hey, you want some cards?
She's looking at him like, damn, this is a great idea.
That's a really good business model, I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. I've been at it a long time. You work out the kinks ever so often. But yeah, it's good to meet you, Seekers of Galani. Your predecessors were a bit more stupid. You all seem like you might actually be players in the game one day. I look forward to it.
So do I.
You gotta understand, this world ain't so black and white. Everyone wants something, and everyone's willing to pay for what they want. Once you have your fortune, your power, or what it might be that you can leverage in this world, do it. Piece of helpful advice. It's what your realm weavers did. It's what the next ascended are gonna do. Hopefully, that includes you. I look forward to seeing more information come out about you. I'll definitely be keeping my mind open when the information comes in. Just do me a favor. Keep my name out your mouths. And I'll do the same on my end. Nobody needs to know what happened here, except for you 5, me and my man. I think I made myself clear. I can be your best friend, or your worst enemy. Think you want me to be your friend? Go in peace, Seekers of Galani. Tell me a tale that I will savor like a newborn in my arms. perhaps.
Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone good to go?
Mhm.
All right.
And at this point, Morgan throws a incense stick,
She throws,
and he
and it's-
dies.
It goes through his chest. He was a fairy the whole time.
Kill him.
Fucking kill him. Tickety tack. Here's a sneak attack. So yeah, you guys exit the warehouse. As you guys, the JJ and Vel, you guys collect business cards. Bucky, Orville, Morgan. Is anyone else grabbing any? Here-
Yeah.
There's like a stack of like 30 in there. So if anyone wants one or two.
I'll grab one. Why not?
Okay, go ahead.
Sure, why not?
Okay. You can put down that you have the business card of Yetzukallas. That's Yetzukallas. Yetzukallas. And if you want to put a note on it, it is specifically a business card that you can have a one-cast use of sending directly to this black slotty. Directly to the Merchant of Death. In, of course, the event you ever need to overthrow a small government or incite a war. You know, good to have a list of contacts for that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that could happen eventually.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
So yeah, you guys exit the warehouse. As you walk out and you head back from the warehouse to the docks, you hear these big thumping footsteps, and you look down and you can see passing you on the docks every so often a footstep hits, and you see a big splattering footprint of blood that then burns up and erases. And finally it stops, so you can feel this large looming presence over you. And you hear the, "Oh, are y'all done already? I was hoping I'd get to hear a bit of that. You all have a good evening. If brother says you're to live, then you're to live. Think about how much your lives are worth. You absolute snacks."
Well, do we have a boat to catch?
Probably not,
Not anymore.
but let's go see if we can buy one.
Right. So yeah,
Yep.
you guys head out from the warehouse. Did you want to check on the boat that was supposed to be arranged for you over at the docks?
I'll pull the group for that, but generally, Belle's opinion now is to probably not go near the problem that we caused and just kind of let it be forgotten. Because we chose to fuck that guy over. Actually, I chose to fuck that guy over.
It's a group choice.
We could potentially find a different boat in the morning if we want to camp
No.
elsewhere.
I
But I don't know.
We're not going back to their home. We're not
No.
telling a story of how pathetic we was chosen are.
Take the good. Take the
Sorry, that's self-hatred right now. I don't blame any of you for what just happened in there. I'm having a lot of internal problems right now. Let's go find a boat.
bad. Sure. So yeah, do you guys want to just search along the deck, or are you trying to look for where was alluded to you that was already set up? Because you know that there was a boat already set to leave tonight in the event that you were successful.
Yeah, let's try and find the one that was set up.
Okay.
Why not?
As whoever wants to lead can roll investigation at advantage to look for this boat. Whoever wants to.
Natural 20 for a 27.
Oh shit. Okay.
And
you guys.
one more crushed sugar ant.
Oh geez.
Sorry. Yeah. They show up here
Yeah.
seasonally.
Yeah.
And I've already put a trap out. I'm just waiting for them to notice it and start dying.
All right, no worries. Get busy living, get busy dying. All right, so you guys.
That's why I've been looking around every so often like a crazy person, because I see one and kill it, and then I'm like, where are you?
Where's your family? Easy to do. You all, with Bell guiding you, you come to the area where your contact once kind of held the area. You look over and you can see Rainwave's booth has been kind of like broken in a few places, and there's blood stained across much of what was left over. It looks like a lot of his products or anything else was dumped into the ocean. Vel, you look over and you kind of angle out and you can see a smaller waterborne craft about 2 docks down with the lights on, and they're slowly blinking. And you can see this kind of like hanging lantern at Rainwave's booth that's still like kind of like fully lit. And you kind of put 2 and 2 together and go, okay, that's probably where the ride was. You make your way down to the docks, and you see this kind of, again, small seaborne craft, a little bit larger than the boat you guys rode on with Fortune. And as you guys approach, you hear, well, good evening, folks. What brings you all by? You hear this like really deep southern drawl.
Can we see who is on the boat?
You look around and you can see in the darkness there's an individual there. You mostly see this large kind of like pointed hat curled up, that a hand reaches up and pulls it down, goes, "Are you the fare that I need to hurry along to Fort Osen? Are you the one Rainwave gave his life to make sure got out of town?" Look, I need to know if I'm leaving or staying. I prefer not to stay, if it's all the same to you, but we need to be going if we're going to go. Because if you ain't it, I'm gonna leave. There ain't nobody I'm swearing to any longer.
Then let's go.
Yep, let's go.
Very good. Welcome aboard the Snake. You guys get on this like small boat. This individual turns to you and looks over. You see a hobgoblin individual. Looks like this, has a large scar running the top of his head, is wearing kind of a heavy set, like old, kind of retrofitted, like piecemeal armor with a heavy set jacket over it. He's withered, old. One of his eyes is kind of like almost ghostly. He puts a large kind of cowboy hat on the top of his head. He goes, "All right, let's get out of here." And he goes and pulls the anchor and starts kind of feeding it through. The boat starts to push off from the shore, and he begins to turn it in the lake, heading eastward. He turns to you all and looks and goes, "Pleasure to have you aboard. Are you all the, I believe, chosen?"
We are.
Oh, good to hear. Might I have your name so I know who I am working with?
You can call me Buck.
Pleasure to meet you, Buck. Glad somebody here has some manners. He reaches his hand out to you. He goes, "I'm Captain Colt Honeycutt. Welcome aboard." And that's where we're going to stop for the night. So, with that, time to, quote unquote, always be raiding, always be raiding, do-do-do-dee-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, let's do this.
Eh?
Excuse me. What's
What? Normal stuff.
I don't care who you are.
All right, y'all. So, as always, we thank you guys for sticking out with us. Whoever ended up staying out, we do appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. We're going to raid another D&D channel that's been going for about 2 hours. They're Fae Fiends and Friends, I think is what they're called. We've raided them before. They're running a Carnival of Curiosities one-shot, I think. So should be cool. It's a bunch of witches and shit. So yeah, should be fun stuff. Whoever stuck with us throughout the broadcast, we thank you so much. For you on YouTube, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Monday nights, Second Wake, episode 34, next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, peace out.